What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar, episode 37. And today we are sitting down with Big Mike, the humanitarian, the scholar, the podcaster, motivational speaker,
Okay.
And life coach.
Okay.
Everybody give a round of applause. I was going to say roundhouse.
Of applause. That would
Roundhouse of applause whoosh, for Big Mike. I don't have a soundboard, so. I do have that, but
I have that on my phone. Every once in a while, somebody says something that's so fire in the moment that I have to pull out the Jamaican air horn.
the Jamaican. Make sure you speak into the fro, bro.
But I mean, like, you don't think people could hear that?
No, it's just, it sounds a lot clearer when you scoot it forward and twist it around, upside down. Do some ASMR
Wait,
with your man beard,
twist it around. Why? Like, it's good right here.
but it has to be like
You
in
want
your
it to be
face,
like
that, dog. Boom. Listen to it. Watch.
Hi.
See, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Theo in the fucking building, baby.
It'll just obstruct my face from your camera.
Nah, it won't.
It's all good. I'm not even tripping though.
Like that. Everybody knows what you look
This
like.
particular side that they can see, I think it's a good side.
Everybody can see you. And what do you got on right there, bro? What is that shirt? I've never
Oh.
seen that before.
You have not?
No, what is that?
This is just one of the drops from the Think Bigger project. It says Thinker Movement.
What is?
That's what I'm all about, dog. Starting a movement where people think for themselves.
That's right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Starting a movement where people think for themselves. Because that's what matters to me, man. Whether it be about cars, life, panda, it doesn't matter
Panda.
as long as you make a decision for yourself based on what you have given yourself as knowledge to make the decision, not just because Joe Schmo and the popular kids on the internet or whatever have made you believe that's what you're supposed to do.
No, I feel you. And to give you guys a little backstory, Big Mike was actually the first guest to be on Downtime with Downstar 36 episodes ago.
Yeah, wow.
Time flies, right?
Episode 1 and 2, and now you're on 36. Crazy.
I know, dude. That was in Ohio. We were just talking about that when we went to Ohio for IBOC meet. We'll be back there again this year.
Yeah, man, definitely. It's gonna be dope. The IBOC meet, we are expanding. We'll be in a few different cities, and more to come. So first it was 1, then we went to a couple. Now it's at 4 this year, and it might be 5 or 6, just depending on the announcements that are happening in the background.
If everything goes good, it's gonna be good for everybody.
Yeah,
I'm
man,
excited
definitely
for that.
Definitely, dude. The IBOC meet is really dope. There's so much history there, man. This is year 15.
Good Lord.
If any of you guys are out of state and you've ever wanted to attend an event in Southern California, the IBOC, if you're a Honda, even if you're a car person, but if you're a Honda person, the 15th year IBOC Honda meet,
That's like choice number 1.
Yeah.
I always tell people, like, come
it's
to the
pretty
IBOC
intense.
meet.
It's SoCal. It's gonna be hot. It's outdoor. There's drag racing happening at the same time. But if you want to talk about a feeling of the culture,
Definitely.
that meets dope, man. That meets dope.
Definitely. So we're going to have some good times. I'm going to take the podcast equipment with me every trip that we go.
Okay.
Ash got me this dope suitcase right here. I don't know if you can see it. It says Downtime with Downstar on it.
I can see it. Yeah,
And
looks
it's my carry-on now. So
dope. Okay.
I don't have to worry about it getting all this shit getting lost or anything like that.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
But
man.
since we did our episode, I don't know if you talked about it on there or not, but you actually started your own podcast.
Yeah, man. The Think Bigger project as a brand and as a company, it's all about reaching people, and you can reach people in different ways. One of the questions I get asked the most is, when am I going to build another car?
Yeah.
And you know what, man? I don't actually have an inclination to do that at this moment. I love my car. It's loud, it's fast, it's fun to drive. And when I do have time to do that, which is pretty rare, man. 'cause
Yeah.
I work a lot. That's another thing we got to talk about. I don't know what different ways we can utilize to reach people to get them to understand exactly how much work is involved. But I always get that question, how come you don't ever drive your car? Which is hilarious because it's like, you don't live with me.
Yeah.
So why would think about the way the question was asked? If you ask when was the last time, all right.
Yeah.
But if you're like, well, how come you don't ever drive? I don't have a personal videographer that like lives with me, right? Or just comes through on command and then just starts busting out a Canon and a lens, my guy. Like I don't have a dudes with Reds and like Ronins, and I mean, it's just like just relax, man. Like the internet and what people put on the internet is what they specifically want you to see. And I mean, I was driving it the other day, but I mean, like I don't have a GoPro affixed to the cage, and I'm not gonna drive it like this, right? So I drove it, and then I was like, oh, dope. And then I want to change one or two things, and so yeah, man, the company, the brand, the movement of the project, it was just like, well, for a year or two, people have been specifically telling me, one other way, an additional way that you can, reach people and everyone wants to listen would be something like a podcast.
Yeah.
I've been guests on quite a few over the last year and a half. We just talked about your episode 1 and 2 in Ohio for the IBOC meet. That was fun. 2 episodes. And then the No Breaking podcast, Christian's How It's Done podcast.
That's a good one. Shout out to Christian.
And then the Parables podcast.
Shout out to the Parables.
And the homie EJ from the Parables podcast. And then the most recent one, it actually is released today.
Really?
For Jada Toys. So for those of you guys that don't know about Jada Toys, Jada Toys was established, I'm pretty sure it was 99, so we're at 20 years. And in the automotive community, they got really famous for making these die casts of the Fast and the Furious series.
Okay.
Like all of them, like all of the most famous Fast and the Furious cars have been made by them, but they do everything from Marvel, DC, Star Trek.
Really?
Oh, dude, they make so many things. When I was at the facility, they have just cases of just all, I mean, you name it, Marvel and DC, every character, right? Different styles, different makes, every car from the Batmobile and the Batwing, and I mean RoboCop, I mean just anything that you could think of, they probably at some point or currently have the license and produce toys at different scales. Yeah. So one of the things that got really popular for in the tuner community was the Import Racer series. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah. So anyways, Jada Toys has been around a long time. I have been familiar with that company to some degree for a really long time, and just as the growth of myself as a member of the community. Yeah. And the podcast that I've done in certain ways has reached so many people. Maybe not by volume, but I guess who it's reached.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize is it depends on who you're reaching, not how many people you're reaching.
Exactly, yeah.
Because there's a lot of fluff out there.
The internet has created a very, very exaggerated world in many ways, and one of them is the numbers, the quantification of things. Everyone has 6 digits, 7 digits. It has to have millions for you to think that it's big, and that's not the case.
Yeah, sometimes when I'll see say a rapper with 50K, I'm like, hell yeah, dude! I'm on the beginning of this. This wave going. This is something tight, Sure. I don't look at it and think oh, this rapper, he's probably whack because he doesn't have a million followers or whatever.
So whether music or automotive, it's the same kind of thing. Yeah, dude. I mean, I think people do it innocently, right? They're not trying to look at someone and be like, oh, well, they don't have that many followers, so they're a nobody. Yeah. But you have this idea that if you don't have a lot of followers, then you must not be a somebody. Yeah. Even if it's not a malicious way of thinking, and it's just not true, because everything from the bots to buying followers. If you have somebody that has, I don't know, man, 300,000, like a girl, one of the models, right? Or a rapper, some dude you've never heard of, right? If you see hundreds of thousands of followers and then they have 1,100 likes, that's not real. Yeah. Right? It's not even mathematically possible. If they have 7 comments, that gives you, these are ways to give you an idea that this potentially just completely lying to you.
Yeah.
The numbers, at least. So the numbers aren't a real thing, you know. It's like it's who it's reached, and it just got to the point where companies like, you know, I work with companies like SEMA.
Yeah.
You know, I was a contender, and now I work with them in many ways. And Jada Toys, like I said, that company is global. Been around for 20 years. They're licensing. They produce stuff for all kinds of stuff. So it's when they reach out,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, man, would you like to be a guest?" It's dope, man. I mean, you know me, dude. Like, I don't ever get jaded. Like, for me, if one random person with 7 followers DMs me and writes like 9 paragraphs off of something that inspired them, that means the same to me as if someone with a little blue check, some famous person, which happens sometimes too, low key, really, and they'll message me and be like, "Oh, I think something you did, or I found you on Google or something."
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not about how many. It's like quality versus quantity, even 100%. In this sense. In this sense. So, yeah, man, that's I've been a guest on those podcasts, starting with yours, and here we are, almost 3 dozen later.
I know, dude. It's gonna hit 100 quick, bro. It's moving,
you
man.
crank out a lot of content, man. How are you doing it weekly?
Twice a week.
See, there it is. I do mine weekly.
Yeah.
Twice a week. Yeah, you'll hit 100 quick, man.
Yeah, but by the end of the year, it'll be 100 for sure. I might even do, like, you know, maybe special episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's fun, dude. I feel it's just helping me with my conversation skills and just to keep things flowing.
Okay.
You know, because when I try to have a conversation with somebody who really doesn't have conversations that much,
okay,
it kind of just dies. You know, because people aren't used to having long form conversation.
Do you mean in
person?
person?
In person, yeah. So it kind of, I feel like it's on me to just keep it going. You know, I'm sure you have it happen all the time. Somebody will come up to you and be like, "Hey, Big Mike, I love your car," and be like, "Hey, thank you," and that's pretty much where the conversation would end, unless you intervene. Like, "Oh, so what do you drive?"
Well, I mean, the conversation skills or lack thereof are starting to that's going to just continue to get worse as people immerse themselves in technology.
Yeah.
As people stay on their phone or gaming, whether you're 2K'ing it up, or, you know, you're on first-person shooters.
Fortnite. And
yeah, you know, it was COD, then it's Fortnite, and then, you know, there's always the world of, like, the Mortal Kombat 11 just dropped.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I mean, so whatever it is, you know, you guys... It's just about being objective and realizing that whether it's console, PC, your phone, technology, and your lack of human interaction, and having this on your ear and talking to somebody across the world is a very tunneled version of human interaction. You know, going out and communicating with people. It's kind of fascinating to see people not know how to talk to each other in real life.
Yeah.
It gets really weird. Like, they're not even weird people. They just don't really know. Because think about it. If all of your sentences are always, like, not even full sentences, they're fractions, and you use acronyms and you use emojis, like, your sentences keep getting reduced. So now you just send someone an emoji. That's not even a word.
Yeah.
Right? It's literally a push of a button. So what happens when you need to actually verbalize your feelings? Like, what are the adjectives that you use? Like, how do you describe how you feel? If you don't know how to do that, it's because you haven't been practicing. People don't practice conversing verbally.
Yeah.
So the awkwardness that you talked about, man, it's real. It's very real. And, you know, just, you know, you have this, and and we talk to people in real life all the time. Like, when you have your booth, like we were talking about at the IBOC meet, the majority of the interaction is conversation.
Yeah.
You are talking, and a person is talking to you, and then at some point in time, there's a business transaction. But it's not like, I want this, okay, here you go, sign here, done, next.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. I mean, it could work like that, but
I don't even want it to work like that.
Exactly. But they talk to you, you talk to them, and that's like how you forge a real relationship with somebody, because they're able to decide in that moment if you were cool or not cool.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just have to keep on doing what we do, man.
Yeah, I feel like I want to just hone in on the skills that I feel like our society is losing. One of them is being positive as well.
Being positive,
being positive, putting out positive energy out there, and just being able to conversate with people. Like, I feel like that just puts me ahead, and it's not even a hard skill. It's something that everybody listening and watching can do at the same time. You just got to put yourself out there.
Positivity, man. I think that's a pretty underrated thing.
Yeah,
because as much as it seems obvious, and you have all these like memes and inspirational quotes and pages that people will repost and screenshot and crop down and put in their stories and on their page, actually living those things is an entirely different thing. Being positive is a choice and an action. And like we talked about, man, I mean, if that's who you are, it's not a difficult thing. It's not a chore. It's not a task. If you're a dick, it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And then it ends up just being fake.
Yeah.
And people can tell. They can see right through it, So, yeah, man, I mean, I think positivity in stimulating intelligent thought and conversation, ranging from anything from food to, like, car events to super profound stuff, that's, like, a lot of what ends up going on in the Think Bigger podcast. And I think a lot of people like it because of that. And because they can tell when people are being genuine.
Well, I mean, I agree with you, but then I don't, because I see a lot of these people that aren't genuine who people think that they're genuine. Like, what is it?
Well, okay, so
are they just good tricksters or what?
I have a couple of theories about that. One of them is, in the end, I always put stuff on the individual making the decision.
Definitely.
Okay, so in this particular context, I'm going to put it on the viewer, the reader, right? Now, it's a very difficult thing to do, because, like, if somebody, okay, like, for example, right, I posted on my IG today a throwback that Rodriguez took a photo of me cruising in my
EG.
My EG.
Yeah. I saw that.
From about 14, 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
He found it, couldn't find the disc of the shoot, because back then we put everything on the disc. There's no SIM card,
Damn, CDR dub?
Yeah, dude. There's no, like, SD card or whatever. I don't remember what he was shooting on. He put it onto a disc and gave it to me. I might be thinking of a shoot that happened a few months later. But anyways, he sent it to me and was like, this is the only one I could find from that day.
Yeah.
And and in that post, I had a couple of people who know me in real life for years, and a couple of them said, one of them said, hey, I remember that car. I remember rolling with you. I was like 10 at the time, because this is my homeboy's younger brother.
Gotcha.
He was the little homie, and he was like 10, 11.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I can see that all is well with you.
Yeah.
You can see that all is well with me off of a throwback photo of a car?
You think he meant from, like, your just general pictures and stuff?
Yes. Well, that is what he meant.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, how do you know all is well with me? Because of what you saw on Instagram?
Yeah.
That has no bearing on the grand scheme of how I'm doing. That all that is what I've posted. And I think that there is a very profound problem that people don't understand the difference. So to connect to what you were just saying about, like, the people are those people just tricksters that have people thinking they're genuine?
Yeah.
Well, if you look online and you see what people post, and they're always, I don't know, traveling or doing something dope, you think that their life is doper than yours.
Yeah.
And you think that they're amazing and that they're cool people because they know how to write a caption? That doesn't make them cool people. That makes them people that know how to write a caption.
Yeah.
Do you see how small of a thing that is, but yet how big of a misconception it is, So, like, why do the people who aren't genuine, why do people think they're genuine? I just think it's simply because people are literally just taking what they're fed.
Yeah.
And if you are an optimistic person, if you give everyone the benefit of the doubt, this is the toxic nature of the internet, because you're not purposely trying to be naive, but you're also not trying to overanalyze everything, right? You're not going to just read every caption and look at every picture and be like, this fool has to be lying. If you go in that direction, then that's unhealthy too.
So do you think people are just giving out the stamp very quickly, saying, like, this is a
Yes.
real dude, this is a good builder, this is the
Yes.
fucking man,
Yes.
this is the dude that's doing it?
They are taking what they see, Which, by the way, anything that it gets posted on someone's social media was posted there for a purpose.
Yeah.
It is to show you a purpose. So when one of my friends who knows me in real life says, I can see that life is good, no, you can see my Instagram.
Yeah.
Those are not even remotely connected statements. Now, I'm not saying I'm not good, but you can't say I can see life is good off of an Instagram post.
Yeah.
That is a section, a piece of real life, you know, for the amount of time that person took. And I'm not knocking them because they mean well. I can see it for what it is. It's like you could have, instead of typing that comment, if you were so inclined, you could have texted me and been like, are you well? I'm old school, man. I do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll call someone and be like, are you good? And they're like, yeah, why? And I'm like, you know what? Because I'm just the type to ask. And they're like, well, now that since you're on the phone, and you'll be surprised, people open up, man.
Yeah.
But if you just hit them with what is that? WYU?
WYD.
Oh, what you doing?
Yeah.
Over there? What the fuck? Like, who's gonna want to actually give you any kind of grown ass answer?
Chilling.
WYD, right? Dudes, I have a friend whose answer to every message he gets like that is the thumbs up.
Really?
WYD, thumbs up.
Straight
right?
up?
Yeah, your car's amazing. Thumbs up, right? Anything, a question, what are you gonna build next? Thumbs up. And it's just like, that's all I answer. Because if it's like somebody who doesn't know how to like formulate any type of intelligent conversation, I just want to acknowledge that they message me and just
say thanks.
Thumbs up, man.
Thumbs it up.
That's it. Thanks.
Get the good old thumbs.
They just hit them with the thumbs, man.
Yeah, I think that I think people should have a higher standard for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And the people that they consider leaders.
Sure.
An easy way for me would be to say, like, in the automotive community, it's a very small community, right? We know what's popping.
Well, the import automotive is even smaller.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we know what's popping. So when there's certain events, certain shows, certain trips that certain people are taking, certain moves, certain like podcasts people are on and such, and then you see none of these dudes are ever involved in any of that, but they're considered like a leader in the community. It kind of just it baffles me, because I'm like, where? I haven't. I'm not hating on you, but I've never seen you at that place.
I see.
I've never seen you there. I've never seen you making these moves. I've never seen you having a booth here out of your comfort zone, right? So I'm kind of like, and it's not their fault, like you said. They're doing whatever they're doing, but it's just I think that the people.
I mean, I think it could be their fault.
Oh, it definitely could.
But if the whole internet is co-signing and being like they're leaders, why do they even have to put any effort? People have made them not have to put any effort.
Yeah.
Beyond whatever effort they put to get to where they are.
Yeah.
I mean, higher standards for sure, my dude. For sure.
Because I think that the people, they see just like a nice car, and that's what they want to aspire to have.
Yeah.
But I want people watching it and listening to know that, like, that's not that hard to obtain, and they can do it too.
Sure.
And if they didn't have a job and they didn't have anything to worry about, they can build whatever the fuck they want to build.
Yeah, like whenever I see a car that has a shitty paint job, and I'm just like, if you saved up for like a few more months, you could have a car that has a not shitty paint job. Like the difference between a hatch or an Integra or I don't know, man, anything with a shitty paint job and one that looks nicer than that is that somebody just was more patient.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you have a person like with a DA or with something and they're just dipping around and it's a bucket. Not a rust bucket, but like just a bucket, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you like maybe a few moldings and one good quality paint job and some wheels, it would instantly not be a bucket.
Yeah.
Right? But you wanted to cheap out and $600 for like a Mako job or like the homie's garage, and you have some I don't know what kind of wheels, and now it's a bucket. And those same people who are 100% capable, like 110% capable of having the car that they're aspiring to, and they follow online, to them it's not attainable, and to me that's 100% incorrect and just in their head.
Yeah, and I think somebody did them a real big disservice, and it very well could be the people that raised them.
Sure.
Their parents, because their parents didn't believe in themselves. And it's just a domino effect from generation to generation.
They gave them trophies for trying.
Yeah.
And that's not how the world works. You don't get a trophy for trying.
Yeah. I don't want to stick on the subject too long because we talked about this last time. And
did we?
Yeah, pretty much how I feel about it is like you just have to be the change that you want to see. And I know that's
Gandhi.
Is it?
Be the change that you want to see.
I thought I invented that shit.
That was Gandhi.
But I think I invent everything, so.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, look, man, you know what, guys? It's not. I don't know if Frank has 1, 2, 10, or 100 people specifically that kind of are in his mind when we talk about this. I don't know if when you guys hear this, some 1 or 2 or 5 people come to your mind. That's not really the point. It's just more about you need, like, I talk about this all the time, is like you need to be able to look past what's right in front of you. What somebody's dangling in front of you is what they post on social media. What somebody presents to you, whether it be how they dress, whether it be what they drive, how they act, that is what you are supposed to see. And you need to be able to look past what's right in front of you. That goes deep. You can go down the rabbit hole with that, but without even, I'm talking about like mainstream media. I'm talking about you name it, but without even going, just think about the fact that many people follow stars and rappers on Twitter and Instagram. The majority of those people, when they get big enough, they're not even the ones running that account. You're not even interacting with someone. Like the people who wrote that caption or posted that photo is not them. And so you think that you have an idea of who this person is, and it's not even them who's actually posting that. Now that's when you get to like super mega stars, but in a small scale, just be able to look, guys. Don't take what you're fed. Just look, decide to do something with that. Make yourself in a position to look past what's right in front of you, and you'll be in a better place in general.
Yeah. So do you feel that that's what the Think Bigger movement is just to give these people the tools that they have, but they just don't realize that they have them?
I think that the answer to that is yes and no, because many people, for sure, have those mental capabilities. They have those tools. They just don't know it. Yeah. But then there are also people who flat out do not. It's not a level playing field. I don't believe that it's some type of internal awakening in everyone. I mean, you could have been in an environment in which that was never handed to you. Yeah. Like it's not even there. Like you have to start developing that in yourself as an adult now. So yeah, man, I mean, the Think Bigger project and the branch, the Think Bigger podcast and everything, the YouTube content, all of that stuff is just, you can find, like, man, I go to a lot of events, a lot. I have 14 flights alone this year planned and booked right now.
Oh, really? You already booked them?
I mean, a lot of them are in paperwork, bro.
Gotcha.
It's situated. That's 14, man. That's a lot, dude.
You guys are just headed to MIMS pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Dav.
Yeah, Dav and Mange in the United Kingdom. So Frank went with me last time. MIMS Honda Day. You guys have never heard of it? MIMMS. It's the UK's largest Honda performance-based event. So, culture, camaraderie, conversation, different builds. And then, for example, the one that we're going to is at Santa Pod Raceway, which is like time attack circuit racing. And then he has one later on that's at another event location where instead of time attack circuit style, it's going to be drag racing.
Oh, wow.
So, those two different realms, and the whole time there's conversation and gathering and food. And then he has one in Belgium, right? And then he has one called Japanese Performance Show, which is obviously not Honda based. It's every type of make and model that are Japanese. So yeah, the first trip of 2019 out of Cali, the state, ends up being out of the States, and that's to London for that. And
when is that? What's the date on that?
That is March 31st, so the last week. of March. Yeah, and this time Ryan from Rywire.
Yeah. That's gonna be dope, man.
So Dav, even though he's across the world in the United Kingdom, he really pays attention to a lot of what we do, as the majority of the world does.
Yeah,
they really follow
definitely
the movers and the shakers and the culture and the scene, and they look at the event coverage, and that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, the event coverage, right? I mean, I shoot, I write for all kinds of magazines, print and digital, and when it comes to events, during and within days after, you can find hundreds, if not thousands, of photos of the cars, right? You'll find vlogs of the cars and movies put out. But for me, like the vlogs I've done, the blogs, the stuff you'll find on the YouTube channel, it's more about the experience, the people involved. I'm very good friends with Dav, for example. He reached out to me a couple years back, and we ended up becoming friends. So now I'm going to all 4 of the MIMs.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, all 4 of the events in the UK. So 4 of those 14 events are in London, or I fly into London.
Damn.
So it's pretty gnarly, man.
I want to see if I can make it out there again this year, maybe later on in the year.
It's such a cool thing. So Frank went last time. If you guys go to the YouTube channel, and there's the thumbnail, like the still shot of my vlog about the UK is with me and Frank. Frank wanted to go see this Banksy piece.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So for me, like I've heard of Banksy, and it was definitely cool. And I'm always down to do like local stuff and farmers markets and shop, and then also just kind of like, I like doing museums and sightseeing and stuff. And one of these nights, I was tired, and it was kind of like out of the way, but Frank was like, yo, I found this one. It's like not that far away. It was like 20, 30 minutes away or something. And he was like, dude, let's just go. And I'm like a real low key kind of person, so I was a little beat. But I was like, all right, dude, I'm down. So we just went, and they had some construction. But it was cool because there was like some kind of like, not a farmer's, well, it's kind of like a farmer's market.
Like a little swap meet kind of thing.
Yeah, they had this open air swap meet in this like little area of, outside of London, and we were just walking. The weather was dope, and it's just, you get to see cool stuff. But the specific area where the Banksy painting was sectioned off because of construction.
Yeah, it was under construction. We were so close. We were right there, but it was covered up.
Yeah, it was like on the other side of this wall partition thing, but there was like people playing, American hip hop, reggae. They were cooking food.
It was cool, man.
It was really cool. So yeah, that's like this still image when we were walking.
I haven't seen that. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, so you guys just check it out if you go to thinkbiggerproject.com. It's the link in the bio on my personal IG page, and then right when you go to the website page, the YouTube link is right there, and you can go peep it, and you'll see Frank and myself in the little thumbnail, and you'll see an example of what I'm talking about. There's cars in the vlog. It's MIM's Honda Day, which is a Honda event in the UK, but the majority of it is about experiences, the country, the culture, the friendship, so that's what I'm about. So earlier you touched on it. Yes, I mean, giving people tools and stimulating them to think about things that are grander than just like the newest mod for their car.
Yeah,
that's definitely something that we talk about, but there's more to it than that,
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
I mean, I think it's a really good thing that you do.
I appreciate that.
I wish that other people would do the same with the influence that they do have. But I mean, it is what it is. You just do your part and go from there. I feel like there's endless lanes in this
everybody
world.
can eat.
And everybody could eat, everybody could do their thing, and nobody has to hate on each other. Just, if you see somebody doing something and it's working for them, use that as motivation. You don't have to blatantly copy somebody, but if it motivates you, do it. And something for like a creative person that's like a real plus is if somebody tells you that you inspired them to do something.
Dude, that's a good point, man. You guys, it doesn't, okay, so one of the things I do in the live streams on my IG, and some people think this is like super cheeseball, and I don't care, and then I do it like in the podcast too, man, is I tell people, I don't even care if you pause the podcast or leave the live stream.
Yeah.
Right now, if there's somebody, not if, who comes to your mind right now when I say who is the person that's most important to you. Even in that moment, it's kind of like asking people who your top 5 MCs are.
Yeah.
It's going to vary in the moment from something, right? So it could be your lady, it could be your mom, it could be your, I don't know, your best friend, right? But I always tell people, yo, I don't care, pause the podcast or just exit the live stream. And even if it goes from like whatever it is to 0, because everyone did it. And don't text them.
Yeah.
Call them right now. Call them. They don't answer, leave a voice message. And with your voice, say, it's not cheesy. You don't have to say, I know this is random, but fuck that. All that disclaimer, just tell them, I just want to let you know that I love you. You're important to me, and I want to see you.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay?
That's my line I used to use before I met Ash.
Oh, on the ladies?
Yeah, I told Ash the first night,
Yes.
or it was the second night we kicked it. Because the first night we're like, oh, we should kick it tomorrow. Yeah. We went out to the club.
Okay.
And then it was the next day and we're texting.
Like a hip-hop club or an oons? Like EDM oons? Or
Just, I don't know, just a club where all the ratchets go to.
okay.
Ratchet
Alright.
men and ratchet women. You know, I was in my ratchet stage.
Men were ratchet?
I was ratcheting, bro.
Okay.
But I told her, she's like, oh, I don't know. I think we're going to go here tonight. I'm like, all right, well, wherever you end up going, I want to see you tonight. So I'm going to see you wherever we go.
So wherever you go, I'm going to come there.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
made it happen, dude.
See, a lot of dudes, just to be fair, a lot of dudes would be like, that's doing a little too much.
Yeah.
Like dudes might be like, come on, dog. Like if you tell this lady, well, wherever you go with your homegirls, I'm gonna go. They might be like,
Well,
but-
it depends on how you word it.
But you know what? No, you know what, man? I agree with you, but it also depends on. Ash is a certain type of woman.
Yeah.
Because like another woman's gonna be like, get this fucking stage 5 clinger away from me.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be doing that to that kind of girl. You know?
Right, but I'm just saying, like,
No, I feel you.
What you say is you can't control the way another person feels.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't control the way someone reacts. So if you're just like, you know what, after the first time we kicked it, like I get a tingling in my loins when I think of you, and I want to see you again. And if she wasn't the type to have felt you back, she'd be like 911. I need to get a restraining order.
I guess that was my tester.
But what did she say? She said, "I'm going here.
That was the reel it in, dog.
Come through, right?
Come on, bro.
And then now y'all are married.
You already know what it is.
So-
your boy had game, bro.
Regardless,
Your boy had game.
regardless, dog. You can have all the game in the world. You can't finesse a woman who does not care,
Yeah.
right?
You're
if she
right.
does not reciprocate, if she doesn't care, you can come in silk drawers and have taken a shower in cool water cologne. It doesn't matter.
Cool water, Stetson. You could have came in with a Stetson
Stetson
and
blue.
a Pendleton.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you could be as silky as you want. If she's just like, no, then that's it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys, you did what you do. You were who you were, and she was feeling that. Boom, and now y'all have a family. So
Quick.
with the quickness. So hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I dig it, bro. Like I dig it. Like you do what you do. You do what you want to do, and when life and this community decides to give you like a mean ass right hook.
Yeah.
Like a mean ass one. Like that not a lot of people are gonna get up for
Yeah.
that. I mean, you probably were just like, I'm like laying here looking at the stars. I don't know if I'm getting up from this. But then there's a part of you that's just like, nah, man, I gotta get up.
Doug, I'm telling you, if it wasn't for Ash, like
And
I
me,
would have
you're
been in
right.
a
I'm sorry, what? Sorry. If it was, I'm
I
sorry.
would have been in like some pretty bad situations,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
because your boy's got a temper, and I don't like to have bitch ass fools talk to me like
Sure.
I'm like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And it's just some things I have to just take a step back with. Car related, business related or not, just in life in general. Last year was a really rough year for us. Not even
Yeah.
have to do with car stuff. Like
Yeah.
I've told you personal things that
Yeah,
happen, and it's
yeah.
just like I was telling Christian today. I said, "Bro, life is hard, dude, and it's just gonna get harder. My job is to prepare you for how hard life is gonna be.
Yeah, not
And
shelter you from it.
No, hell no. Prepare you for what's
yeah.
gonna really go down."
Yeah.
Because you've seen what I've gone through. I'm motherfucking 33 years old. You're 11 years old right now. You got 22 years to go
Yeah.
of shit. I'm preparing you because when I was your age, I didn't have these kind of gems, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, dude, I think with all the stuff that I've been through, the people that I surround myself with, and my change of mentality, and seeing all these things and the business growing in a positive manner, my family, the love that we have for each other just growing, like us being able to do trips and shit, my friendships and that, like whatever I'm doing is the right moves. Okay. Granted, there could be other moves that I could do that could catapult me to another place, but I'm doing the best that I know how to do at this moment.
Yeah.
And I think if you've reached that point, and you've reached many of those positions, it's always best to give back. And that's what I feel that you're doing, is giving these people the knowledge to make whatever decision that they want to make.
Exactly. So, one of the things I always say is, I'm not teaching people what to think. I'm teaching them how to think, right? And then what they do with their thoughts is up to them. Yeah. It's not, you shouldn't like this person, you should like that. But no. It is just, the idea of thinking past what's right in front of you, thinking past what people dangle in front of you via social media or whatever, things like that. And you give back because that's the right thing to do.
I think so. For even for our culture, if you want to bring it in as tight as that, I'm making money from the culture. You know, I'm providing for my family from the culture. Yes. How can I be an upstanding member of the culture, and I just take from
Correct. It? Because if everyone did that, it would implode.
And most people do.
Correct. And that's why it's
things are struggling.
So, that's a good point, because one of the things that I've done is I've reached people in different ways, directly in the culture, inside of the bubble, right? And there's so many different ways to do that. And I'm at events, what do they call that? In the streets, grassroots, heavy, and shaking people's hands, right? I'm at events from the East Coast up and down the Eastern Seaboard, from NY, Jersey, New England, down to Florida, Orlando, now Miami this year, right? So literally up and down the entire East Coast, the South, right? Charlotte, Atlanta, you go up Chicago, Ohio, Midwest, whatever, Texas, Dallas, and so for anyone to say that they're out here trying to do it, but like you said earlier, you don't ever see them anywhere. Yeah,
you're not doing it. It's like, no disrespect, but you're not doing it.
And not everyone's gonna have the ability. But don't say, okay, let me rephrase that. You have the ability, but if you don't care enough to do it, then that's cool too. Just own that, right? Yeah. And whether that's a company or an individual, right? If you stay in your bubble, your home, your garage, your friend's house, whatever, and you're just out here cranking out stuff on the internet, I hold I hold everyone who blindly follows that nonsense accountable. Yeah. Right? Because you guys need to look past that and go to an event, converse with people in person, support the people and the companies that are out here exerting themselves and their pocketbook to be there, to make the event a success. But so that's in the bubble. The cars, from like the throwback, my hatch that was on my IG today, the throwback photo that Roger sent me, that was 14 years ago, man. Damn. And that car was in a magazine in 2005. It's 2019, right? So that's 2005, and then the Prelude in 2008, and that's kind of like where most people think my history starts, about 11 years ago. Yeah. In 2008. And that's cool, man, but it's deeper than that, Yeah. But we can start with 2008. But my point is like, from builds to magazines, to awards, to now judging and hosting. For me, one of the most important things to do is to not just continue to reach and interact with all of the enthusiasts, young to old, within our bubble. It's to reach the ones outside, to break the stereotypes that exist about what we do. And they're strong, man. Mm-hmm. Whether that be at SEMA, you have world famous, just utterly incredible car builders that are typically going to do American cars. And if you tell them that you build Hondas or Subaru or something,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, what, right? And they may not necessarily make fun of you, but the fact is that they don't acknowledge it,
Yeah.
or take it seriously.
Well, I mean, for good reason, for a lot of reasons, because if they came into the community, say if the community was like a physical place, and once they open the door,
Yeah.
and they just look in there, they're gonna say, yeah, this is probably not somewhere that I want to be at.
Because of the behaviors, because of the stuff that people do. But within that, there are always the people who strive for excellence, cream of the crop. There are, whether it's a Honda or a Evo,
Yeah.
or a whatever, a 240, you have people building fantastic cars, highly detailed, gorgeous cars, and they don't see that because they watched Fast and the Furious 1 through like 98, however many goddamn movies there are now, right? And that is what mainstream has presented the world as the import culture.
Yeah.
Okay. So from my build, right, becoming a finalist at SEMA, and being on Velocity Channel, and then the next year I sat on some educational panels, and then built the Dotson with Discovery Network, and then now I'm working. So the one coming up soon. So we talked about the end of March going to MIMS, right?
Yeah.
So that's MIMS Honda Day, once again inside the bubble of the Sport Compact tuner culture. There's an event March 16 and 17, so just a couple of weeks before I fly out to London. It's called the Classic Auto Show. They only have 2 stops, so Southern California and Chicago. The event's been around for a few years, but last year it was 25,000 people.
Wow.
25,000 people. This
It's like
year,
half a Dodger Stadium.
is that how many people?
I think 50,000.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
So
that's
there you
a
go.
lot.
It's a lot of people.
That's a lot of
This year
people.
is going to be more than that, around 30.
Yeah.
30,000 people over 2 days. It's a 2-day event in the OC Fairgrounds, right? For those of you that haven't been to the OC Fairgrounds in Southern California, it's like this large area, and they have different pavilions and buildings, and there's like a main walkway, and so there's different halls have different themes.
Gotcha.
And the Los Alamitos Pavilion, which is one of the 6, I think, we have a small section. I'm working with them. Japanese Classic Car Show is working with them, and we have a small section. Remember, this is the Classic Auto Show, which is really the American Classic Auto Show, and we have this section where we are going to have certain Japanese classic, and then some a little bit newer than that, cars in the midst of this sea of 30,000 people, and you're going to give them this taste of what the Japanese classic culture is about. And they have panels. So there's a podcast called the Cars Yeah podcast. It's 5 day a week. I think it's like 1,500 episodes.
5 days a week?
Dude, I think it's like 1,500 episodes. Okay?
Shit.
The guy's been doing it a long time.
Good Lord.
And he is doing these panels and interviewing people. So Adam Carolla, right?
Oh, no way.
He's the grand marshal of this event.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know that Adam Carolla is a hardcore car guy. And he is bringing his Z. He is a Z, right? And then Dave Kindig from Bitch and Rides, on Discovery.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, he's going to be there. There's a lot of celebrity builders, and there's a few sets of panels. And you're talking about, once again, 30,000 people. There's 2,500 cars at this event. It's huge, right?
Yeah.
And I'm hosting a panel.
Nice.
It is import tuning culture, the history of import tuning culture in America and its similarities to American car culture. And that's the theme. And I'm doing that in the middle of an event where 90% of those people would not really ever have a reason to even care.
Yeah.
It's definitely a massive opportunity, and I'm very grateful for the Classic Auto Show for being open-minded and allowing myself to curate this import section and to hold this panel on the main stage. So it's not like they have this grand stage or they have these very world famous people and they're like, okay, well, over here in the pavilion where you guys are, which would not even be bad, we'll give you this like mic and some shit. No, it's their grand stage.
Nice.
It's a big deal, man. And
now when is this again?
It's March 16 and 17.
Nice. Dude,
And
maybe we could go over there one day.
Yeah, man,
I
bring
think
the
that'd be
family.
sick.
One of the days. You guys, for everyone listening, please, you can use code Big Mike.
Ooh.
and you'll get money discounted from your tickets, or you could always use code Think Bigger.
Stunning on. What are you stunning on them for?
I'm serious, guys. All jokes aside, those are very real active codes. Get your tickets, type in Big Mike and or type in Think Bigger, and you'll get $5 off your tickets. It's a huge event. 2 days. You don't have to go for both days, but I would implore all of you to please come on the day of the panel, especially for all of you guys, and sit there. We have a Q&A section afterwards. Converse with us. We have different people. I have Eric from JDM Legends.
Oh, okay.
Right? The JDM Legends are coming.
Okay.
So we're gonna have them set up. We'll have a meet and greet. If you ever wanted to talk to them, they were on Velocity, now Motor Trend Channel. All three of the JDM Legends will have a section.
Really cool dudes. We met them at SEMA.
Very cool guys. Exactly. Those are all the homies. All of them are coming. Eric will be, who's the owner of JDM Legends. He'll be on the panel, and then Kenji.
Oh, okay.
From Grady.
Yeah, from Grady. Shout out to Kenji.
Our boy
Hell
Ryan from Rywire.
Oh, he's gonna be on it
He's
too.
going to be on the panel.
Oh shit!
And I'm working on one.
Shout out to Ryan.
Yeah, I'm working on one more person who scheduling is making that maybe not possible, but those are the three right now, and I'd really like that fourth person to be able to make it. So that's the panel, amongst other panels. It's not the only one. It's going to be in a slot of time. 16 and 17 March, the Classic Auto Show. Please support you guys, whether you're just attending or if you have a classic Japanese car, right? If it's a 2010 Civic, it's not that it's just not what this is about, right? If you have an older car, 80s, 90s even, and you would like to register, just DM me and I'll send you the form, and you can be a part of it too. But this is ways that I try to reach the world in, and then in this context, outside of the tuner bubble.
Yeah.
To break stereotypes, to represent us on the biggest of stages in a very real and positive way.
That's dope, man. That's
bigger, man.
That's what the community needs.
That's what it's about, man.
The community needs OGs that are OGs that you can look up to, you know, because if you were a person that was around in the 90s and you broke some records or you built some car or something and now you're just like chilling, I feel like, yeah, you have your place in history, but that's about it.
It's history. It's past.
That's all it is.
I see.
And I was actually talking, I want to jump into music, so this will be like a little transition. I was talking to my boy last night about it, about like Lil Wayne versus Eminem, like who would I choose? And who would I choose is like an overall statement. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like who raps better, who has a better delivery or anything like that. It would be who would I choose? And after thinking about it, I would say I had to choose Lil Wayne, because no matter if his skill level to some wouldn't be to Eminem, like he's been more of an OG to the up and coming rappers. I feel the information that I've been given than an Eminem has. Whatever M has done in the past, however his skills are, anything, I feel like he left the hip hop community. He just left it alone and went and did his own,
business stuff or whatever.
Whatever he ended up doing, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not somebody that's shaping the culture into what it is. And I feel like Lil Wayne has definitely done that.
I see.
That's what I feel, is that no matter if you were the first one to ever go 8s, 9s, 10s, or whatever in a Honda, if you were the first one with a shaved bay, or if you're the first one with this or that, or if you were an OG, I kind of feel like you have your spot in history, but you got to move to the side for somebody that's still in the fucking making shit happen, that was around when you were around. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean that's also sort of a thing where it's like, you've got some people who, even rightfully, they feel entitled, right?
Yeah.
Like, I did this, I or we or this group paved the way, so you should pay homage.
Yeah.
Which is true.
No, definitely.
But like you're saying, it's like, but that was then and this is now. If there's somebody who wasn't there then but is now currently actively chasing whatever records, or innovating in small to large ways, then you can't be mad at them for being in the limelight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Man. It's a perspective thing, right? It's a perspective thing. Some people say, well, they're the ones who did it, so it's difficult because you can take that with music, you take that with athletes. Let's take basketball for example, right? You have an entire generation of people who comment on Twitter and on Instagram all day long about how Kobe's the GOAT, MJ's the GOAT, and LeBron's the GOAT, and you'll hear them arguing all day long, and the majority of the people arguing never saw MJ play basketball. Yeah, they are watching highlights and clips, but they didn't actually watch him play. A lot of kids didn't see Kobe play because the gap between when Kobe was leaving and Kobe entered, LeBron, blah blah blah, right? Yeah. So I mean, like I'm into basketball to a certain degree. I don't follow it as much as I used to. Yeah. But I mean, I pay attention. You have an entire world of people who are talking about somebody's the GOAT, but they never even saw them play. Somebody's the GOAT, and they never even heard them rap from like the old days,
or they never even seen their car,
or they've never even seen their car.
They've never even seen it in person.
Never seen it in person, but they're calling them the GOAT. Yeah, which is fascinating because no, that's just not how it works at all. So it's like the guys' cars in many ways are like these women on Instagram. And I'm not a sexist, like chauvinistic person. This is reality, right? Is that a lot of times they look amazing online, and then when you see them in person, you're just like, like that's
what happened.
That's not quite the same thing, right? If you think a Snapchat filter only works on someone's skin tone, it works on a car just as well, right? So you got people who their vehicles are pretty nice.
They take pretty nice pictures.
Yeah, they're pretty nice, but people are calling them the GOAT off of a pretty nice car, which is the most random thing ever to the people who actually have built really nice cars. Yeah. And because they don't have a big social media following, you're like, that's stupid. That's very stupid. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how I look at that.
So, talking about music, okay, let me get your no order. Let's get a top 5 going if possible. Dead or alive?
Oh, top 5. I was actually thinking about this the other day because I was like going through Pandora stuff, and for those of you that use Pandora, they have thumbprint radio. You know what I'm talking about? No. I think. Don't laugh for those of you guys that think that this is the most obvious thing ever. I think thumbprint radio is whenever a song comes on any of your channels and you hit the thumbs up button to say that you like it, so it'll want to play it more. I think it takes every one of those from every genre and puts it into the thumbprint radio channel. So even if it's R&B or electronic or whatever, I liked it, and then it puts that in its own channel.
Got you.
I think that's how thumbprint radio works. So anyways, there was like random songs, like hip hop songs that I don't know, I hadn't listened to in a while, and it popped up, right? When I was on the gym, maintaining this physique. Like, how do you think I maintain this physique? Let's see. So anyways, so it brought up some really good stuff. Okay, so top 5 dead or alive.
5 might be hard. Maybe 3?
No, I'll just, like I said, I think it'll vary to some degree next week, but there's always going to be like the general circulation. I think Nas is way up there for me. At pretty much any time, that's gonna be
Nas.
Yeah, okay. Top 10 at all times.
Has to be top 10. Yeah.
I mean, some people would say no.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think Big Pun.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I think his pen game, his lyrical game was just stupid, man. Yeah. Stupid. I think Pac, for the poetic angle, the way he affected people, like it might not be like metaphors and double entendres, but like he for life, he has a legacy for life, like for eternity, and people were like completely like caught deeply into the songs and the way it affected them, and because of that, he's in the GOAT conversation always. So that's only 3. I don't know. I don't know, like I think Gangstar, that's like not one person,
Uh-huh.
but they're way up there for me. Of course, for certain reasons alone, Biggie, some of the songs, the effect, the way the culture was wrenched and moved around because of him.
Got you.
That's just a handful. Corrupt at his best was one of the best.
Really?
Corrupt at his best. I mean, that song New York, New York, where he said that night I battled 1,000 MCs.
Yeah.
That's a real story. He had to battle out of a room against New York MCs.
Really?
That's a real story.
No
Yeah. We should read about that. Everyone on either coast, when Corrupt was at his prime, was like, that dude's borderline unfuckwithable.
Yeah.
But this also tends to be mainstream guys. If you want to talk about guys that didn't really end up necessarily being super mega big, Crooked Eye is way up there. I mean, Big L. I mean, he was obviously mainstream.
Rest in peace, Big L.
One of the goats.
Spitter.
So you have those, and then it starts to get, man. I mean, that's like about 6 or 7 or whatever.
No Drizzy?
I'm sorry.
No Drake?
As the what?
As in your top 5?
Top 5 what? Pop artist? He's a pop artist. He's the top 5. He's in the top 2 biggest.
Let's do it then.
He's like the top biggest. He's like one of the biggest artists in the world.
So you say when you get to a certain level that you're out of a conversation already?
What do you mean?
Like he's out of a top 5 conversation already?
Top 5 what?
I'm just like...
No, he's never been in a top 5 conversation.
Really?
No, he's too... First of all, he's too young. You couldn't... You can't call somebody...
Yeah, you can, dude. He's been in the game for 9 years. A lot of the other rappers, they got their GOAT status before 9 years. Jay?
Like who?
Jay-Z?
Oh, okay. So I guess I wouldn't be the best person to talk about with him because
Yeah.
I mean that's a very big name, obviously. But I stopped listening to Jay-Z so long ago.
Really?
Yeah, I don't listen to Jay-Z.
Why is that?
I stopped really like caring for listening to it after Reasonable Doubt.
After the first album?
Well, The Streets is Watching, Reasonable Doubt, and
Streets is Watching was after.
Well, and then the Black album was obviously kind of cool, but I pretty much stopped what would be about that time.
Okay.
And I've almost not heard a song since, except for what's going to be on the radio that I don't even realize. But I stopped listening to the radio too. So Drake is not in a GOAT conversation, in my humble opinion, because it's still early. If he continues to sell units like the way he's selling, I think that so like sales in music is like championships in basketball. Without it, people don't really ever want to be inclined to say that you're a goatie, right?
Yeah.
Which I get, right? Like you have people like Grant Hill and T-Mac and all these other players who, because of injuries and because of other things, no one will ever know. But when they were at their prime before their injuries, everyone who knew and played then was like, listen, they were some of the best to ever touch a basketball. But because they got hurt because of X, Y, and Z, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
But anyone who knows, who was in the know, who saw, they're just like, there is not even a remote conversation. They're some of the best.
Yeah.
So when it comes to music, like you have people who got killed. I mean, look at how powerful Biggie and Pac's careers were. And they were young, man.
Yeah.
Who knows what the hell would have happened if they kept going. Same thing with Big L, right? And these and Pun even too, so it's some of those conversations, but no one's gonna say that they weren't in the conversation of GOAT, and their careers weren't that long. But I mean, 9 years, I guess, to someone who's 17 to 24, 9 years is like a massive percent. If you're 17, 9 years is like 60% of your life. So you would have only grown up hearing like that first Drake song, right?
Yeah.
So now you're 17 and he's got like whatever amount of platinum, this and that, right? I get that. But I mean, the GOAT? No. That's not even, I don't even consider that to be a logical categorization.
Really?
No.
Why would you say that though? I don't...
Okay, so are you guys ready for this? Has anyone ever looked up blackface Drake? Have you ever looked that up?
No, was that from
just whether you guys do it right
the
now.
Pusha T shit?
No, before. Okay. How do we go into this? Okay, so I'm not knocking somebody for having a career in acting.
Yeah.
And coming from some kind of money, right? I think it's kind of weird to make fun of. I don't know why people do that. Make fun of somebody for coming from like not the hood.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. But you can't do that and then also play it like you did when the whole entire world knows that you didn't, and expect to be taken seriously by anything other than 12 to 22-year-old white audiences, which is where Drake sells the majority of his stuff. You cannot do a song holding a bandana on a yard that's uncut with a bench set and pit bulls with lowriders and expect anyone who's from that life to take you seriously.
Yeah.
You can't. Nobody from that life, in my opinion, really actually takes Drake seriously. The same way that the majority of the biggest MCs, and I don't give a damn what people post on Instagram, when you're like in the cut, nobody says Eminem's the GOAT. They do Complex, Double XL, etc., right? But like in like the streets, the conversation stopped happening because he came from there battling, moved his way up, Rap Olympics, woo-de-woo, right? And then what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was like 96 maybe is when all that was. So
with like Juice and all that stuff.
That's not even 10 years. So
Right.
96 to 2006. 2006 M was already
just doing his own thing. I mean, well, 50 Cent.
Shade 45 and all that was going
and then
on.
with
And
Dre and then 50 Cent and all that jazz, right?
but I feel like his influence really died out after like Marshall Mathers LP.
But so for the sake of just general conversation, you have people who will argue that he is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Not one of the, right? Which for you, by your own logic, is like, how? Like, you're not even around anymore, right? So there's an interesting balance, because some people will say, well, he doesn't need to because, and other people like you will be like, yes, you do. You can't be GOATy if you're just not doing anything anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, do I think Drake is a good artist? Yes. Do I think that Drake is a good performer?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been to his concert, but for me,
Puts on a fucking show.
So for me, performance isn't what you are on the stage. I'm talking about these people's lives are a performance.
Yeah.
Okay? We're going right back to what social media is and what you see. It's hard for me because I have a certain inclination towards a certain type of lifestyle from where I come from. So it's hard for me to take. And I didn't grow up in tenement housing. I didn't grow up in the PJs. I wasn't on government assistance. People weren't shooting and selling crack outside. I mean, that's not my life.
Yeah.
But I mean, I went and lived a certain amount of years of my life in which violence and gangbanging and colors and things that you said or did would have very real violent consequences. So when somebody who's from Canada and is not had Nickelodeon acting as a kid, and then now they're bouncing around with a bandana around their neck, and that you look like a clown.
What video was that?
Song he did with YG.
I mean, that's he did it because it was YG. Because he's with YG.
I don't care why he did it. Like, that's like no one. You basically ruined your ability to have any form of actual street credibility when you do that.
Do you think that was his motivation, like street cred? Though, you know, because
it's to sell. His motivation is to sell.
Because think about it like this,
including
right?
himself.
Let's take a guy like Game. How do you feel about the Game?
Well, I mean, he hasn't put out music in a while, right?
I mean, he has, but it hasn't been anything that, to me, that's really stuck.
Okay, so I don't even know, because once again, there's certain ways that I feel like I'm almost not able to have too much of a conversation because I don't really. I don't follow any hip hop pages. I don't listen to the radio. So I don't hear new stuff. Like, I literally do not hear new stuff. You guys, I didn't know that it was the Super Bowl this Sunday till 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And people are like, how the hell would you not know that? Because I do not follow anything sports related enough to have seen the announcement. Right?
Yeah.
And people think that means like, yo, are you living under a rock? I mean, I'm on my phone a few times a day. Didn't even know.
Yeah.
If I am looking at sports, it's going to be like some highlights on like YouTube for basketball. Didn't even know the Super Bowl, a mega event, was this Sunday. So in certain ways, I have to be open minded to not knowing. But like the last few albums Game put out, I thought they were fire. I mean, like a resurgence of like that West Coast gangster rap feel. And he sold, he went platinum on it. I liked all the music. I don't know what he's put out recently. Yeah. For all I know, he put out an album this year, 2018. Yeah. I wouldn't have any idea. But I mean, when you say the motivation is no. I don't think anything's hidden. The motivation is to sell records because you make money, and that means which is why I'm telling people to look up Blackface Drake.
That's what I'm saying. That was from Pusha T. He's the one that put like that whole link out and everything. I don't know if he put the link out. But
I just want people to type it into Google and then click images.
But he's black. I can't do brown face because I'm light skinned.
I mean, just do it, guys. It's not. You're not gonna get anything bad. Like I don't know what your safety settings are.
Okay, so let's take it this. Who is a newer artist that you would be familiar with?
Newer,
besides like mid '90s.
I mean that's
corrupt and
like
stuff.
Newer. Oh,
something 2015 and up, or somebody that's caught your ear in the streets. Anything, or is it all just like
from before?
Source Awards. 2009.
I never even. I think
1999.
I don't even think I think. I don't know if I've ever. I didn't watch TV growing up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I've ever even actually seen a Source.
But you don't remember those CDs like Source Awards 1999 where they had the compilation?
The music. Oh, I thought you were talking about like watching them.
And like Pharoah Monch and shit was on there.
Oh, like Raucous Records and stuff. Yeah, fire. That's fire. Sound bombing too. What? Okay. Hold on. So I wouldn't really be able to answer that as far as someone who just came out. To me, if someone came out in 2015, that's just coming out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really know. I mean, I probably heard their music.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know that they just came out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, if you have like a terabyte of music and you just put it on random, you could listen to that for like 10 years and never come out of it. So I don't know, man. Like I listen to the radio and I think it all sounds like complete garbage, but I also hear some stuff on the radio. Like I said, I can appreciate Drake as an artist. He sings just good enough. He raps just good enough. And then if you sing your own hook on your song, you get paid twice. I mean, like I dig it, right? But I mean, the GOAT? That's laughable to me. One of the best-selling artists of all time?
Okay, so let's say it like this. Let's just say maybe you don't have the ability to make that distinction because you don't have all the info. Okay, everybody, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors and we'll be back in 1 minute.
Yo, what's up, fool? Make sure you check out Downstar for all of your dress-up needs. Get it poppin' over here. We have all the kits for the K series, the B series, the transmission, the mounts, the engine, the Toro, baby. We have the hardware for the seats, for the stereo. We got it for the speakers. We got it for the lug nuts. We got it for the air valves. We got it for everything, dog. So you make sure you hit us up at downstarinc.com or you call us up, fool. You can even text us, lame, 818-937-3472. Just shoot us a text and tell us what's up, dog. I need some fucking balls in this bitch. Hit us up, downstaring.com. Hey, and if you got an Instagram, slide in our fucking DM at Downstar. Wait, hit up the homie, Frank_Downstar. He's the one that takes care of all the DMs. Hit that level up and shoot him a message and he'll get you all taken care of real nicely.
You mean like of like being a newer or older comparing them and stuff like that?
Just to take him out of the category.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say that, but I mean, you could give me what are you gonna give me? Sales?
Just give me 5 hours, dog. We'll sit down, throw some headphones on.
I would never dedicate 5 hours to Drake.
I got one ear pod for you, one for me.
I'll give you 30 minutes max.
30 minutes is good. I could go through some 30 minutes.
I mean, the only thing anyone would ever be able to give me, I could find it myself on, the Googles.
The Googles.
Would be stats, sales.
Yeah, I don't really care about sales.
Well, then how else could anyone ever convince someone that Drake is the GOAT of anything other than by stats, like his sales?
I mean, there's lyrical breakdowns.
Sure.
Of things.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is one reason why I can dig it, because he has been around, at least in the last, 5 8 years or something. Battle rap culture. I follow battle rap, the underground battle rap culture to some degree, right? And he's been there at events. King of the Dot, from Canada, he's been there. I've seen events where he's in the background, and then I follow that to some degree, and then the URL, which is what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Ultimate Rap League, which is the biggest one here in the States. And I'm pretty generally familiar, and he's been at a couple of those or whatever. So yeah, like if you just like it, that's what makes him a good artist. That's what makes it good, is that he's willing to study, right? You got like Nick Cannon, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these biggest battle rap guys are now on Wild 'N Out, right? Which I don't watch Wild 'N Out. I see like clips of it.
Yeah.
On social media.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Half those dudes are battle rappers.
No shit.
Like street battle rappers.
Wow.
That came from this thing called the URL that I was telling you about. So if you look them up, so I guess the algorithms or whatever put Wild 'N Out onto like my explore page, because believe me, I do not fucking follow that on my personal. There's no way in hell I would ever follow that. It's just it's ignorant entertainment, and that's cool, but not for me. But because of algorithms, because I have followed or like liked. You like one battle rap video, the algorithm's gonna throw something at you, and then if that dude who's in the video battling is now in a Wild 'N Out video, algorithm, ta-da, right? Yeah. So I see these clips, and you know how like when you click a page on the Explore page, and then you go up, it's just nothing else but that. Yeah. So I've seen that, dude. Half those dudes are all street battle.
Really?
And Nick Cannon brought them in. So you want to talk about another person? No one will ever bring up Nick Cannon.
He's pretty goaty, dog.
In any goat conversation. But if you look at what he's doing,
he had Mariah.
I mean, without even
what was Mariah back in the day to you? Come on, dog. Mariah was,
everyone thought she was like super fine, and then she could sing like 30 octaves.
She hit that motherfucker.
She could do that. Yes, could. Holy cow, that's a lot of pain in my eardrum right now. But yeah, man. So without even doing the whole female thing, from business ventures, from production stuff, there's a lot of stuff going on. But there you go. No one's really gonna call him Goldie anything. Yeah. But he's all up.
Well, there's guys like that too, like a 50 Cent. You know what I mean? I would say that they're really good OGs to be looking up to, because of their like
Nick or 50?
Nick too. Of their of their longevity of being able to make this short career, which the career for a rapper could be like 4 years, would be a huge career. And they're pushing that shit to 10 plus years.
Yeah.
50 doesn't have to rap a day in his life, and everybody will always talk about him and know him, and he's doing shows and shit.
But not in a GOAT conversation, as an entrepreneur conversation. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So if he was still spinning, like if you listen to 50 before he got shot, it had a different feel to it, right? Everybody, not everybody, but I mean a lot of people like Get Rich or Die Trying.
Hell yeah.
I think there was 2 minimum, 3 maximum tracks on there that I think should never have been played in public. Like they were atrocious. Really? But like the remaining 9, I played that album. Yeah. I dug it. And then remember that little like extra DVD or whatever of like when he was on the porch getting interviewed, and there was like an extras.
Okay.
That came with it.
I don't think I saw that.
He was like on a porch in his like grandma's house or whatever.
Connecticut or some shit.
Oh, I mean, I think it's New York.
Oh, okay. No, he lives in Connecticut. All right, I'm mixing up something else.
Yeah. See, there you go. I don't know, but it was like, I thought that the music was dope, and then obviously when he signed with Dre, it was like one of the biggest deals you ever heard of. He got the watch and $1 million. Yeah. And all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, dude, he was good, but no one's talking about him as a GOAT. Yeah. Businessman, money, blah blah blah. But GOAT? No. But not as an MC.
Yeah, I still don't think that he has as much accomplishments as Drake does.
In the world of music?
Altogether. Maybe he had some big hits for, some albums, some songs, the Vitamin Water thing and some other things.
I know Get Rich or Die Trying did like multi-platinum.
That album's fire.
It was good, right? I do think there were 2 or 3 songs on there that I was like, this is skip. But then 9?
Yeah. So speaking of like underground rap, what do you think of Daylight?
Okay, so I know Daylight from battle rap. Okay, And I actually haven't listened to enough of his studio stuff. I know him from battle rap. But I mean, shout out to my dudes Mike Sick and Z Rich in Atlanta. They've worked with him. My dude Z, he was actually rocking one of the Think Big hats.
Oh, nice.
With Daylight.
Oh, no shit.
They host sessions. Like, so my dude Mike hosts ciphers and sessions out in Atlanta, and then my dude Z, he spits for a living.
Yeah.
And he's been on like Sway with a bunch of cats, and just puts out a variety of music. And they had an event where Daylight was there spitting. So I have the picture of him and Day.
Oh, nice.
Chilling, and he's rocking the hat. But I rock with Daylight because if even in back in the day, with his craziness and gimmicks, and he did a lot of crazy shit. And but if you listen to what he's saying and you analyze the pen game,
oh yeah,
it's in like the top 5 pen games. Like,
he's fucking insane,
bro. It's like double and triple entendres, and it has like so many different things. And so yeah, man, I rock with Daylight. Now he's on a very, very serious conscious tip.
Yeah,
very, very
super,
very, very big conscious tip right now. And I rock with anybody who's trying to put that out there. Like, if you guys don't know who Daylight is, I would suggest you guys YouTube Daylight versus Oops.
Daylyt.
Daylight versus Oops. I think it's 3 O's. OOOPS. And if you don't want to watch the whole battle, then look up round 3, because there's enough videos on there that are just on round 3. But if you want to watch the whole thing, what Oops is saying, because Oops is about, I mean, Oops is like, he has a crazy life, and but he also talks about being conscious and like being an activist,
yeah,
you know, for like black rights. And then Daylight's on a conscious tip too. Daylight comes from, you know, he's from the hood, and when you guys listen to that battle, I think especially if you only want to spend a few minutes on it, and I think from that point you'll want to look up other stuff. But Daylight versus Oops, round 3.
I gotta check that out because I haven't.
It'll blow your mind. What they both are talking about is profound on a different level. That'll give you an idea of why I rock with Daylight. So Daylight versus Oops, round 3, I think we'll do that for you. And then now the stuff he's putting out is real conscious. So I rock with him.
Now, have you ever got into like rock and roll or anything? Punk rock, emo, anything like that?
Like when I was growing up, that was like, you know, white people music. Ska and alternative and stuff. And like I used to crush on this white girl, and she listened to like Nirvana and shit.
Yeah.
So I like tried, you know. And then whatever that album with the little baby swimming in the water.
That's that one.
Right. So there you
go. That's
go.
our only album.
So, like,
I'm pretty sure it's the only album.
I don't know, but like, so I can appreciate it to some degree solely because I did listen to it. Like I forced myself to listen to it. But I never would have, you know, otherwise. But I can appreciate those types of bands, like and how they resonated with like that group, you know, the kids, white kids.
What about like even older than that, like some Zeppelin or something like that?
So once again, I never got into, because that was all white people music, right? It really was. But I mean, like, you know, if you go like, I don't know, man, like Journey and Starship. Right? You remember Mannequin? Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, like the song at the end of Mannequin. I mean, that's 80s stuff, but there were always like these more like quintessential radio mega hit songs. So 80s was that, and then Nirvana and all this stuff in the 90s and early 2000s, that it was inevitable that if you listen to anything on the radio, you're gonna catch it. And so yeah, man, I think a lot of them definitely can resonate, but I did not listen to them enough to get into it. I just listened to straight West Coast gangster rap for this amount of time, and then I started listening to all East West, whatever, underground, mainstream rap, and I was really into hip hop, and still am. And then I was always an R&B dude.
Oh, okay. I'm
an R&B dude, but outside of that particular genre of music for people of color, I never really got into.
So now that brings me to my my next question. Let me see.
Is it a fortune cookie question?
This is my fortune cookie that I got.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give my fortune to you because I'm going to need you to
read it,
and then I'm going to ask you this question.
You want me to read this to the people?
Yeah.
It says Panda Express.
Panda Express.
Okay, but above that it says "Speak from the heart."
Speak from the heart. So here it comes. Are you ready for this one?
Oh, okay. So you're
This
gonna
is-
jump off right here. Okay.
Okay, ready? So
Speak
you
from-
just brought up R&B, right?
Okay.
You're a really good R&B guy. You just know about it and history, and it made you feel certain ways when you listen to songs.
I mean,
and
I don't know about like what's happening right now. I don't know about like
I don't know what the hell that was.
why did your phone just do that?
I have no. I didn't even touch it.
Everyone can see my man's arms are right here in his phone.
Siri just wanted to chime in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Siri, wake up!
See, that's why he be talking crazy to her when she
Don't get off
becomes-
subject.
when she becomes self-aware. She's
Don't
gonna fuck you up for
Come off
yelling.
subject.
Okay,
Are
so
you ready for this one?
Yeah, of course.
Kells, bro.
I'm
R.
sorry.
Kelly.
What about him?
Are you familiar with everything that's going down right now?
I'm like I haven't followed it.
Got you.
But yeah.
So when maybe you'll remember more than I could, because this probably got a couple years on me. It probably made a little more sense to you than it did to me.
What?
When he had that whole thing with the underage girl and he pissed on her.
Yeah.
Did like, looking back at it now, he was like 27 and she was 14. Like, did that make sense to you back then?
What, I mean, I'm sorry. Makes sense.
I mean, I don't know why. It just never really clicked to me. Like, yeah, he got caught with him. I don't know, whatever. I don't, you know?
Okay, so if you go back farther than that, he was married to Aaliyah.
Yeah,
And
she
Aaliyah
was 15.
Yeah, whatever age she was underage, and he was overage.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like 19 and 15 or 19 and 17.
I'm pretty sure
like
it was 27, if I'm not
was-
mistaken.
mid to later 20s, and she was, whatever she was under 18. I think it was 15.
So at that time, did you understand that?
At that time, I didn't know she was 15.
Okay.
Because that was very hidden. Like,
Yeah.
if you look at one of the interviews where they're together, when the interviewer's like, so how old are you? She's like, shh, that's a secret.
Uh-huh.
So unless, there was no Google back then, so I didn't know how old she was.
Got you.
But, like, you could tell there was an age difference. But there's a very big difference because back then, like, I wasn't really aware of the significance of all that.
I mean, maybe that could be it too. That's what I'm trying to say.
But that was then.
Yeah.
A 30 or 40-something-year-old dude pissing on a 14-year-old? Bro, what? There's not really much else to... Like, what do you have to analyze about that?
Yeah.
There's nothing to analyze.
So do you think that that's why this is all coming back? Because now everybody has the tools and the means to actually understand all this shit? What happened back in... When was that? It was the 90s, right?
No, it wasn't that long ago.
No?
Dog. It wasn't. It was not that long ago. But the point is like, I don't really necessarily know if I understand what you're asking me because I don't know what you need to analyze. What tools do you need to know that a grown ass man was fucking
I just,
kid?
back in the day, it
That's
just,
pedophilia.
when that shit came out, it just... The more thing that caught my eye was the pissing thing. Because I was like, why is he...
It doesn't matter if you piss on her. You can't sleep with a fucking 14 or 15-year-old. That's disgusting, man.
You don't get what I'm saying? It's like...
The whole thing's disgusting. It's statutory rape
I
by legal
understand.
terms.
No.
It's,
Totally.
It's gross on a bunch of levels.
I
and
totally
then
understand
throw
that.
a bunch of urine in there, and it's just what?
It's a big mess.
Yeah. I mean, look, dude. The new stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
Look, man, you want to get into conspiracy theories. You got people saying that they're trying to crucify another black man. They're trying to find another major black celebrity to tarnish their reputation. You know what, man? Let's say there is a dedicated group of people, you call them whatever you want, that are trying to tarnish somebody. If you believe that all of the women that accused Bill Cosby were paid or lying,
King Raper.
I don't know what that means.
That's Bill Cosby.
That's his nickname now? Okay, I didn't know that. But there are many people who say that all of those women, if you to individually analyze their story,
Yeah.
it's super sketchy.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
And he got acquitted from like almost all of them,
Yeah.
right? Because if he didn't, he'd be in jail for like 7,000 years, right? He didn't get that. He got, got found guilty of some things, right? But what I'm trying to say is there are many people who specifically say that if you take each, because that's what you're supposed to do when it goes through the legal process.
Yeah.
They're gonna break down each event, right? That's why he got acquitted of almost all of them. Okay. So let's say you want to go that route, that there is an organized group that's trying to tarnish black or famous people of color. Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't make him piss on a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay, you could say whatever the hell you want, but
so has he been canceled by you? That's what I guess that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I stopped listening to his music.
Really?
I mean, I stopped buying people's albums so many years ago that I wouldn't have supported in that regard. You know, like the money part, and I mean, like I don't listen to the music anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, like this new stuff is about where he's like holding women captive and like mentally destroying them, and like, well, I caught some tape. I don't know what to say about that, because those are grown women. Those are like, unless they weren't.
Yeah.
I mean, are some of them underage?
I really didn't want to go watch it all the way, because I'm like, he's already a dirtbag in my mind.
Yeah.
There's no more proof that I need.
Sure.
And I don't need to even proof it up even more.
Sure.
It's just done.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. So as I understand it, there are women coming out saying that he was very abusive mentally, that they were like sex slaves and things like that. I can't really speak on that.
Yeah.
Because as adults, if they all look like adults to me, that's sort of like a different conversation, because unless he like literally kidnapped them, they got into that of their own accord. That doesn't then make anything he did after that okay. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, the history is of pedophilia.
Yeah.
And to me, like, you don't need to do anything after pedophilia.
No,
like,
I
you
understand
get cut
that.
out
I think
quick.
that's what I think. What I was trying to say is, a lot of people, he wasn't canceled to a lot of people until as of recently.
And so you're going to have people who are obviously going to say, I want to know the facts.
Yeah.
Did it really happen? Was she really 14? Look, I don't know anyway. I don't think there's any debate.
Yeah.
Like for that one instance, that was a 14-year-old woman. And I guess the argument that I've heard for people on his side, at least like online, is that she lied about her age, which, okay, right? She lied about her age. I don't know about the fake ID part. So let's say he said, him and his dude, bodyguard, let me see your ID. If it says that she's above age, technically it's not illegal.
Yeah.
Because the video that she's on, because I have some dudes that they want to see everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Faces of death kind of dudes.
Okay, so kind of. And so I did end up with the homies. They were like, yo, because this is when that was going on, which is why I know that it wasn't like mega. It wasn't in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was like early 2000s or mid 2000s even. I don't know, man. We could find that out by Googling it. But my dude was like, yo, peep. And there was this video where it was like 1, 2, I think like the third woman in. And I was like, we're just watching porn. Like, it's just a dude smashing women, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, because we didn't know what she looked like.
Yeah.
They hadn't put her on TV, right? Because you can't do that. So it's like you're just watching. And I even remember, just to keep it 100, I remember one of the women on there was like this, like she had like certain color skin, and she had done something to her hair, like blonde highlights or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, that woman's bad, right?
Yeah.
Like he's just smashing some like bad woman.
Bad broads, yeah.
And then the next one comes on, and I'm like, whoa. Like, turn that shit off. Because to me, it was clearly a 14-year-old.
Really?
To me, it looked like a child.
Shut the fuck up.
It looked like a kid. It didn't, okay. It doesn't have to be this extreme, but it didn't look like an 8-year-old. You see what I'm saying?
But it looked like,
a 14-year-old. Like, you could tell that it was an underdeveloped. Like, you just watched him smash 3 grown-ass women. And then all of a sudden, you're like, all right, dude, I'm like, that has to be her. I'm done. And I walked away. And, you know, like, I'm not trying to knock my dudes, but they were like, you don't know, man. And they just kept watching, and I just left the room. Like, I've always been able to do that. Like, without going too gross. Like, remember when that 2 girls, 1 cup went across the world? Bro, people were talking about it, and I was like, bro, if that's what that is, like, I don't want to see that. Yeah. Right? You just have to tell me. I don't need to see it.
So it's a cup.
But Pete, I was at somebody's house, and then everyone was like, dude, just watch it, dog. Like, we had, like there was, like, 10 dudes. And like 6 of them were like, yo, I haven't seen it, man. I need to see it.
Yeah.
And it came on, and I was looking at it. And it starts off normal, whatever that means.
It was a weird music.
I don't remember the music.
It was very weird music.
I just remember two chicks.
Okay.
And it started off for like the first whatever amount of seconds being completely whatever. And then as soon as it segued, I got up and walked out.
It turned that bitch up.
Why do I need to see that?
Yeah.
Like the description was bad enough. And then I saw the 1.7 seconds of it, and I was like, "Skrrr," and I turned around and walked out the room because I don't want to yak, homie.
Yeah.
It's not even funny to me.
Yeah.
Okay. But once again, that's still too adult, and it's not illegal.
Yeah.
We're talking about a 30-something-year-old dude, by legal definition, raping. Let's call that shit what it is. If they can call it statutory rape, then we can call it rape.
Yeah.
Because it's rape.
Yeah.
If a 14-year-old or whatever age, 17 and 11 and a half months, the law says that she is not capable, or he is not capable of making an adult decision. Therefore, it is an adult who's of stronger mind and influence coercing them.
Yeah.
It's rape. Why would I want to co-sign for someone after that?
Yeah.
Never. So yeah, he got cut off.
So what about the argument that people have where they could separate the music from the person?
I mean, I don't really have an argument for that, because if you are able to do that, if somehow the person you hear singing like an R&B love song, was just raping a 14-year-old, if you can let's just call that what it is. If you could somehow extract that from and still just be like,
it's good. It's just a song.
It's just a song.
It's just a song.
Okay.
And he did write the lyrics to Age Ain't Nothing But a Number for Aaliyah.
For Aaliyah, yeah.
Rest in peace, Aaliyah.
So, I mean, there you go, man. If you could do that, if you're able to, if you believe that, I don't know, Bill Cosby did 1 or 10 or whatever of those things, and you're able to put that aside and still rock with the stand up and the show.
Bill Cosby never meant anything to me, any show or anything. It was just like, what?
Oh yeah, no, he's one of the biggest comedians of all time.
Not to me, So when people were standing up for him or whatever, like I didn't
resonate with.
I didn't have a dog in the race.
The Cosby Show,
Cosby, whatever.
Because you have to think about what was going on in this country, as that was a show about blacks.
Yeah.
A quality show that taught positivity. It was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Huge, and he was one of the biggest comedians. Like, he's the Black Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Huge.
Black Seinfeld.
Huge. Bill Cosby's huge.
That's a deep one.
Huge.
Got you.
Seinfeld's half Bill Cosby's age. Bill Cosby was doing it for decades before Seinfeld.
Doing it.
If that's what the man did,
supposedly.
If that's what the man did,
I don't know. I wasn't there. I just called him King Raper to joke. I wasn't there.
The thing that's hard about it is but look, let's keep,
good luck.
You can keep the same energy going whatever direction you want. Harvey Weinstein,
yeah,
right? Mega powerful man in Hollywood. There's women who were like, in 1977, when I was 18 years old, I'm just becoming a famous actress, I had to do this and this, and I'm like, yo, you can fucking say something about a dude 40 years later? What the fuck? Same thing with Bill Cosby. Some of those women were coming out of left field decades, and I'm just like, there's no statute of limitations. And I mean, if someone did something to you, I am glad that there's not a legal limit. But at the same time, it's like, yo, 40 years ago?
Do you think that's a responsibility that they should have?
The women?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the circumstances. I don't know how it affected them. I can't speak on that, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's just like, yo, if somebody did something to you 30 years later, I don't know, man. Like,
yeah, it's a hard one,
it's
dude.
hard. It's hard.
I feel really bad for women because I know the power that men have over them, like physical power.
Sure.
And, it's very intimidating when you get in certain situations.
I think the feminists would be very upset with you right now.
Why?
Because they're equal. Men don't have physical power over women because we're the same, Frank.
I love women. I love feminists. I love all women, but I love my woman.
Yes.
And I wish I wish everybody just was given a fair shake. That's pretty much it.
I just wish people didn't rape each other.
That's it. Yeah, like,
how about we just stop raping each other?
Come on, dude. Everybody has fucking sisters and moms and aunts and like, no, dude, come on.
Like let's not even try to talk about. Let's not talk about world peace. Let's not talk about like that kind of stuff. Let's just talk about, like, how about We just don't rape each other.
Yeah, and respect people's like right to choose. Like, no, I don't want to have sex with you.
Yeah, like
drunk frat guy.
Yeah, and then you can't just like rape them.
Yeah.
How about you just? I mean, like Tinder, you can just swipe right a few times and you'll be able to smash just fine.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to rape?
And
somebody?
then you think about what's the main reason that people don't want to go to jail, guys, because they don't want to fucking get raped.
Right, but they'll rape a woman.
But they're raping, yeah. And she was drunk or whatever. Like, no, dude, that's not the world we fucking live in.
When you take 3 like haymakers to the temple and you're woozy, you're low-key kind of drunk, and when Butch starts raping you, he's gonna say, well, like he didn't say no because you were just kind of like not really all there. That's essentially the same shit that you just said about the woman.
Yeah.
So like, look, man, whether it be R. Kelly or whether it be Weinstein or whether it be whoever, man, first of all, anybody who's out here hurting children, bro, like this shit makes me this is getting me mad just thinking about it.
I got another one on the list. You ready for this one?
Dog, what? Okay.
You ready for this one?
Okay.
So I was just on World Star.
Which you shouldn't have been, but okay.
And I saw a preview for an upcoming documentary on the King of Pop.
Oh, okay. So I did hear about it. The two boys that are grown now, and they helped produce it.
I think that's what it was. It was just another like a preview of the documentary come in. I really didn't see much of it, but I think that's on the horizon.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really big. I heard about it a little bit. Two boys. Well, they're grown men now. They are either like, I don't know if they produced and directed it, but they're like very much behind this documentary about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, brother. I'd have to watch it, of course.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say until it's out or whatever.
I think that one's gonna be a lot harder if it does come out with a lot of substantial evidence for people to quit Michael as it was to quit R. Kelly.
Yeah, let's see what they say.
Not for me. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, let's see what they say. If it's an entire documentary about like what they say happened, that is absolutely no different than someone saying that, well, I was there, I lived in Neverland, or I was around and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Then it just ends up being, right? If there's like, like people want proof, right? Proof is not, but this happened.
Yeah.
That's not proof, right? So if it's an entire documentary, it's probably filled with
has to
information.
Nobody would take, well, I mean, somebody would, but it would be a big waste of time to just put like evidence or things out there without any evidence. Yeah,
because a movie is not a documentary.
Yeah,
a movie's not.
So hopefully they would have some proof or something.
Sure. I mean, who knows, brother? I mean, if you come out with a documentary, it's probably going to have some stuff in there that people are going to try to look up and prove or disprove. And
yeah.
We'll see. Like, to be honest with you, man, I don't really concern myself with other people's lives, and I don't want them to be raping children.
Yeah. No, you know me, I'm always up on the new topics and shit like that, and that R. Kelly one has definitely been a big topic.
I mean, when you say I was on World Star today, I already am concerned for your like long-term mental.
Why, dog? I'm doing my studying.
Your study?
That's my research that I have to do. With all that stuff, there is things that you can find on there. Good clips or something that'll give you some kind of good information. Or
good information to accomplish what, though?
Just to be well-rounded about what's going on in society.
Right? On a World Star.
There's been plenty of times where you called me in a frantic and you're asking me, like, what does this emoji mean? And I just have to explain it to you about what the emoji. So if you didn't have me,
for a disclaimer, you guys, I've never called Frank frantic about the meaning of an emoji. That is a flat out exaggeration.
So frantic would be an opinion, right? In my opinion, it was frantic.
That would be the incorrect usage of a term. Like, hey, what does this mean, Frank? Does it mean like I called you, like I'm holding on with 4 fingers on the edge of a cliff?
Either way.
And I'm like, if I don't know what this emoji means, I'm going to plummet to my death. That's frantic.
If it wasn't for my World Star research, maybe I wouldn't know that.
The meaning of the emoji?
I'm in the World Star, the vlogs, the podcast, the post, everything. I'm intertwined with everything. So I'm kind of just figuring out like where things are going.
Okay.
Right about
I wish
now.
you the best with that.
Thank you, dog.
I
It's going pretty good.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Hey, man. Remember we talked about that? You guys log on to worldstarhiphop.com? There it is.
But it used to be a lot worse. They used to show a lot of like death and killing and like faces of death.
They
kind
did?
of stuff. Yeah, on WorldStar. It was a lot worse.
Is that
back
where
in the
people
day.
were watching all that stuff?
Um,
Oh, no. Everyone just hold on. Do you need to check your phone? Is that more important than
that's
what's
my
happening
wifey,
right now?
dog. She's
coming
she's
home?
the most highest.
Are we going to talk to her?
She's good. She's at work right now.
It would be dope to have...
I know. She'll be home maybe like 6, but you're probably be gone already.
Yeah,
anyways.
I'm going to have to dip set after.
But no, I like. You know what? I kind of have to filter myself through all that stuff. But I know what it is, and I know what it can do to you, and I don't let it do that to me. What it does to other people, you know, the world star and then the trolling and things like. I understand what it is, and I kind of respect trolling because it's a marketing tactic, and it's a marketing tactic that really works. And if you're some like broke kid from the projects and you're able to market yourself like crazy and people buy it onto it, and
like off of shock value and trolling,
shock value, like whatever, you know, at the end of the day, that's marketing. It's kind of on the same lines of Wendy's Twitter account.
Of what?
Wendy's, the burgers.
Okay.
Like they roast people all day, and whoever they have on there is like King Roaster, bro, because it's super funny. Yeah.
Wendy's, the fast food chain.
Yeah.
Is
So it's
roasting people on Twitter.
yeah. You gotta
What?
see. That's what I'm telling you, dog. You're living half life right now, dog.
You could. That's how you want to look at it, my dude.
That's
go
my
right
opinion.
ahead. That's
And I'm fucking sticking to it.
Go ahead. If that,
Like that's how
if
you're
I'm not-
becoming frantic.
If I'm not following Wendy's as they roast people, I think that my life is going.
I mean, it
just fine.
sounds stupid.
No, I'm sure it's funny.
It's
Look,
funny.
I mean, look, I like to make fun of memes and GIFs and all that stuff. I mean, some of it is definitely funny.
That's it. That's if you can see the funny in it. That's all that matters.
I mean, objectively, I'm sure Wendy's restaurant with the little white redhead cartoon girl, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like roasting someone on Twitter. I mean, it sounds like it's funny. I'll let you tell me about it.
It's pretty
I'm not
funny.
gonna read it, you know.
Yeah, but I like to be caught up on
Pop culture.
Pop culture. That's it, right there. Pop
Respect,
culture.
man.
You know, it helps me. I don't even know what it helps me with. You know. But like you said,
It's entertainment. I don't think that helps you. It's just entertainment.
It's entertainment.
You're
Yeah, I
being
choose to entertain myself in certain ways.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like we indulge in a lot of the shows that MTV has to offer. And I understand what those shows are, but
Wait,
it's
wait,
just
what do you mean?
16 and
reality shows.
pregnant.
Reality shows,
Yeah,
right?
Lindsay
Yeah.
Lohan show.
Yeah, that's pretty much like the worst television.
Jersey Shores.
Yeah. That's good for you, Playboy. Like I don't know. That's you, dog. Tell me.
So
about
okay, so let's go this way then. What do you do for your like junk food time? What is something that
Oh, like decompression.
there
time?
has to be something?
Yeah. So for me, let's see, decompression time. For me, the gym.
Got you.
So then, of course, then there's like music, right? And then if you like prop it up and watch YouTube while whatever, like on the stair climber, because the stair climber is about the most boring thing on planet Earth. So you got to watch something. But I mean, for me to decompress,
Like a guilty pleasure. Let's say that guilty pleasure.
I think like a bomb meal
Really?
is my guilty pleasure. So I enjoy food, right? And then I mean, I'm a big dude because I eat. You know, I have some, without getting too personal, I have some like health issues that definitely make it harder for me than the next man to be all like super lean 6-pack dude.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I take responsibility for, because I travel so much. Like we kind of talked about this earlier. I travel so much, and there's so many amazing things to eat when I go to this country.
We just
or-
grub.
right? And I mean, and so you go sit down. You like, whether you Yelp it or ask someone local, you got to go here, right?
Yeah.
And I just have that body type where if I don't eat kale. And
You were supposed to go on the kale diet.
yeah, so everyone, that's it. We'll have to tell that story in a second. But like, homeboy really thought that was like, remember how we had him going for like a long time
Who was it?
when we were in Philly. And I mentioned the kale diet, and he was like, "Oh, dude, my uncle did the kale diet."
Oh yeah.
Right, and it was just like, should we tell him that we just made that up?
Let it roll, dog.
But okay. So anyways, so if I drink like water and like boiled broccoli for like a year, I'll lose the weight.
Yeah.
If I eat anything considered like normal,
Really?
food, yeah, dude.
Damn.
So I'm like the most active big dude you'll ever meet. Like I can give you clap push-ups. It can hang a 45 plate from a belt, and I can do dips. Like I'm strong, but lean, I am not.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like I'm a big dude. And in 2018, I was actually telling Frank that it's one of my biggest personal things, and that's like a nice struggle and fight that helps keep me grounded. Is that's like a weakness, if you will.
Yeah.
And because I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So if you know what's gonna happen, you still do it. That's a weakness.
Yeah.
Right. You got to fight that. So in 2018, I put on a bunch of weight because traveling and eating. And I have more flights planned in 2019. So I'm already going into it knowing that I'm already fighting the battle. You have to prepare.
Yeah.
You know, whatever that means. Whether that means when I'm in London, I got to find a grocery store, which with the internet is not hard to do.
Yeah.
Go, look it up, Uber it, grab some stuff, you know, cook in the hotel room, right? If I have that kind of suite or just whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so that's my thing. But for me, decompression is the gym. You know, I work out, I don't know, 5-6 days a week.
So the guiltiest thing you say you would do is just eat poorly at certain times.
Honestly, I don't even think it's poorly. It's the amount.
Portions. Got you.
I hardly touch fast food. I drink coffee and tea. I don't drink soda. I don't drink alcohol. I don't touch. I don't do drugs, and I don't drink alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
People think like, you know, it's not a moral thing. You come home, crack an ice cold beer. You're at a wedding, toast the champagne, go to a nice bomb like steak dinner, red wine, pair it, all that jazz. It's, you know, I dig it. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
Right. So everyone's just like, oh man, you want to lose weight? Just quit drinking soda. Just cut down on beer. And I'm like, bro, this belly's not a beer belly.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Like, yo, I don't drink. I haven't had a beer in like, I don't know.
What year was it?
Wow, last time I had a beer, probably 20 years ago.
Really?
Deadass, 20 years.
Damn.
99?
99.
Probably 99.
I'm 2010.
Okay. So, Frank, that's right. You don't drink alcohol at all. So for me, guilty, I feel like the guiltiest thing I do, yeah, man. I think food is like, I mean, a bomb meal is a bomb meal.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we can eat the same bomb meal and I'll get bigger and you won't. Let's just... And because I know that, I have to take responsibility.
Yeah,
but that's my guiltiest thing.
I guess that's what I was getting to. Is like a guilty pleasure.
I think so. Like
know?
if you have some bomb accomplishment, like when something happens, what does everyone say? Let's go celebrate. What does that mean? Let's go to dinner.
Let's go get fucked up.
So for me, it's like, all right, let's go to this place and that place. So that's my guilty thing, man. Like I'm actually like I've been through enough.
Yeah.
I've seen enough. I've either been a part of, especially when I was younger, like when it comes to bad things, seeing bad things, doing bad things. It's been enough for me to stay away from certain things. And I think people think that that's easy because of what they see now, because of the discipline.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I don't even watch TV. I don't own a television.
Yeah.
And some people think that's really weird. It is kind of weird. If you really think about it, people are, I mean, because you don't have to watch trash TV. What about the news or the weather? Yeah. I don't watch TV at all. And it's not like I wouldn't be able to control what I was watching. But for me, it's like, I don't watch TV. You tell someone that you don't drink alcohol at all and you don't watch television, and you're already by definition a weird dude.
Yeah.
For sure. And so for me, that's just how it is, man. Sometimes for me, black and white is better.
Gotcha.
Just no gray. I don't or I do.
Yeah.
And I don't make exceptions.
Okay.
And that type of discipline comes from, I mean, I got stories and scars on my body, man. There's reasons.
Well, I wanna take it to that real quick. Things that you've been through in your past life and things you may have been a part of or done or whatever. Do you feel like now that you've been given a second chance that you feel that it's kind of an obligation to kind of teach others to pull them up?
I mean, philosophically, the answer to that, of course, is yes. But I mean, the second chance happened every time I came out of a situation in which I probably shouldn't have,
But there had to be one last second chance, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So there was a time in which, because of my actions, I almost got somebody killed who did not deserve that.
Yeah.
Like they're like the definition of innocent bystander, but they were being a good person to me, and because they were there physically for me,
Yeah.
they were gonna die. So I guess that's the one that stands out to tie to what you just said about like the last one, the biggest one.
Yeah.
Do I feel like it's an obligation? I don't really kind of look at it like that. But I mean, I've become a much more positive person. And I mean, obligation, maybe it's just,
obligation is kind of maybe a bad
maybe
word.
it's just semantics. Yeah. But I mean, I definitely feel like giving back. I mean, like we've talked about this before, you know, a lot of times people don't want to say it. And I'm also not the type, because people are so quick to be like, what a dick. Right. But you want to talk about resumes. Well, we've talked about this. Like when it comes to resumes in the context of the automotive culture, I mean, let's just keep it 150. Like my resume's strong.
Yeah.
Like as according to other people,
in the last 12 months, it's got a lot stronger. Just
and then if you go back 2, 5, 10, 15 years, it's untouchable, man. You know, and there's people that do their own thing in different ways, and I love it because, like you said, everyone has their own lane. It's not like we're all in the same lane. That's the problem. People want to act like because he's doing it, you're taking away from me. Well, no, bitch, go do it yourself.
Yeah.
Fucking, I hate that, you know? So, yes, man, we can all eat, but it's like, you know, when you talk about, the first thing people say is like, how come you don't build another car, or what car you're gonna about to build? It's because I don't need to build another car to reach people. Mm-hmm. I've reached people in the way of the helping set the standards, the current standards that exist. I've helped be a part of that, you know? And, oh yeah, I mean, like the whole Big Mike spec thing that you're talking about.
Oh yeah,
that hashtag.
So guys, we're gonna start something. I actually want to get like stickers or something made. But Big Mike's car was the first car to get done top to bottom in Downstar. So we're gonna use that term as a Big Mike spec because this was the first to do it.
And what we mean by top to bottom is literally every single bolt, washer or nut, right?
Yeah.
On the entire car. There's one bolt on the head that's like an oil galley bolt, which you can still do it, but I just didn't, and that was just not me because you have to like machine it. But I really think that's the only one on the entire car. I mean, if you pulled my dash off, my pedal assembly,
I have pictures of the pedal assembly and stuff.
You know, when the bracketry, the steering column bracketry, like the D brackets, my pedals are custom, so I have a pedal that's from a Subaru STI drive-by-wire pedal, so it's been mated to like the OEM Prelude brake and clutch pedal. All those assemblies were tumbled and gold zinced and all these brackets, and when we put everything back together, it's with the hardware and the washers and the nuts, the dash bracketry under the car, underneath anything you can't see. All the back half of the car has been redesigned, you know, with the rear seat delete and the Canton Racing AccuSump and the new performance fuel and all this stuff. And there's a lot of stuff you can and then cannot see. Every single bolt, minus that oil bolt, on the entire car is 100% brand new, completely fresh Downstar beauty washers and nuts and bolts. So it's not almost the whole car.
Yeah.
It's not all
it's
the
more
suspension,
than my car.
right? So it's not just all the suspension or the front half or the engine bay or the transmission or no. It's the whole thing. Traction bar, header, custom stuff. We found a way to utilize it. So the car, there we go. That's one piece of that car that's helped start trends.
Yeah.
That's one. That's just hardware, right? How many people have you contacted you since my car came out, and whether they reference my car or not, they were just like, I want to do my entire vehicle. How many have you had?
Yeah, you see the M4 out there, right?
I seen it.
You seen it?
Yeah.
They calling me.
Okay, so M4, but what about in the Honda community?
No, they're.
I mean, it's not like 50, but it's like
no. There's been a demand for people who want to get to the next level.
Yes,
They
yes.
know that that's what they need to do.
Yes.
Be-
Speaking of that, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but remember that post that you did, right? About like who do you think are some of the most? Or not some of the. I think you might have worded it as the most.
Yeah.
And I didn't even catch that post. I think honestly, I think Instagram's really done something with the algorithms. I think it's going on the way of Facebook.
Yeah.
Where like if you're not paying, like no one sees your stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening because real talk, I didn't even see the post. I had people send it to me. And you know how you can like send a post or DM screenshots, you name it. And there were people or a person that said, well, I don't think Big Mike's that influential because you don't see people in the country doing builds like what he did.
Yeah.
And it was like, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Right? You can name, what, 5?
Yeah.
That are 100% going all out, right? And they have specifically referenced my build. Okay, you guys, what my point in bringing that up is that you have, it's a matter of perspective, right? Some person will say, I don't think that person or that crew or that channel or that page is that influential. And you'll have a bunch of other people who are like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's a matter of what you want to see, right? It's a matter of what you want to see, what you think is valid. And there are people who are going to be like, what's the point of the Downtime with Downstar podcast? And then you have the thousands of other people who are like, have you listened?
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, and it kind of ties into a comment that was just made on Apple Podcasts for my podcast. You know, people can put those ratings, right? I don't know if you can do that on like SoundCloud or Spotify
you can.
and stuff. Okay. So the Apple Podcast one's just the easiest to read, I guess. And it said along the lines of, my phone's over there, I can't look it up, but the part that really resonated with me was the end, is that, you know, so-and-so, there's a lot of knowledge and thought stimulation, but the end, he said, and you can take away nothing from this, or you can take away everything.
Yeah.
It's up to you. And I was like, well, there it is. This person hit it right on the head. You can listen to anybody, man. Joe Rogan, Andy Frisella, Gary Vee, and you could be like, those guys are idiots.
Yeah.
Right? And or you could be like, my life is changed. Or it could be something in the middle, just one thing someone said. But if you go into it being like, what a douchebag, you're not going to take away anything. You don't have to know or like the person. You just have to be open-minded.
Yeah.
You just have to be able to allow yourself to think differently, think bigger. That's why I called it the Think Bigger Project, man.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not about like buildabettercarproject.com.
I think when people see stuff like that and they post kind of like a salty comment, I just think they don't have enough information because they don't put themselves out enough. Their algorithm of their life is very
it's
small,
even smaller bubble.
Yeah. And it's just, if you're not a worldly person, if you're not looking at what's cracking in the UK,
you have to educate yourself. Yeah,
you're not gonna know who a real influence is until you go to the UK and they fuck with you out there. You go to Japan and they fuck with you out there. You have to go out and really experience it. And I go through the same issues, man. And I've just learned that I have to do my own thing. That's it. We talked about it yesterday, man. Whoever comes. Whoever doesn't. I'm still gonna do my own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna do your own thing.
Exactly.
And I want our things to like align parallel as long as they can, you know, because I fuck with what you're doing. And it's dope to just to have a friend that's just motivated and trying to do better and not just hating like, what the fuck does that guy have, you know? It's just,
bro, I don't have time for that. I mean, as cliche as that is I'm literally too busy to even drive my car casually. If I'm not traveling or working, believe me, I want to drive my car. But you know what I don't want to do is take that one weekend out of the last 6 months that I can actually sit down and do my own thing and say, I'm going to spend this weekend trolling people on the internet.
Yeah.
What? Nah, man. You guys go ahead with all that, man. It's just there's loved ones and family and responsibilities and work and the game is chess, man. It's not checkers. There's stuff, you know, that's lined up for 2020.
Yeah.
You know, there's stuff that's lined up this year that started in 17, 18. And how do you think that kind of stuff happens? It happens because you're working on yourself, man. Dude, Frank, there's some people who put a lot of effort into trying to fuck other people's shine up. And it's like, why don't you go put that effort into something else?
It's not right, dude. And it's not going to turn out good for you. If you believe in karma or not, I don't give a fuck. If you believe in it or not, that shit's coming for you.
Yeah, man. I mean, like that, we could have that conversation. I don't believe in karma as far as like a literal circle of energy. But as far as like the concept behind it, that's not even a debate. Very much so, right?
Yeah.
Very much so. Like, if you are out here actively trying to fuck people's shit up, you can call it karma or not. Somebody's going to fuck your shit up.
Quick.
You know? And that's the thing, man. We're talking about it. Like, one of the episodes on my podcast coming up is about the internet, right? And how real it is. And basically, it's like, if you say some crazy shit to somebody online and they want to fuck you up in real life, you can call them crazy, immature. You can tell them they're delusional. It's just the internet. You can say whatever you want. But that's because you didn't think that you crossed the line.
Yeah.
But according to who? Like, you think that it's okay, but they don't think that it's okay.
Quick.
So you're going to tell them that, well, it's not that big of a deal. Well, it's big enough a deal where this person's trying to cause you physical harm. And like I said, I come from a world in which enemies are people who are very much wanting to hurt you in a real way. Like violence on site. That's what we call green light. Mm-hmm. When someone said you got a green light, bro, like if you were in public and people saw you were getting dumped at broad daylight in sight, or at the very bare minimum, you're getting run up on. Nighttime,
quick,
caught slipping, whatever you want to call it, right? So when someone's saying some crazy shit to me on the internet and I'm supposed to react to that, come on now, man. You want to say something to me, you can say it in real life.
Yeah.
I'm out there. I'm across the country. Come through, right? But you don't. Like, you don't. It's not that real to you, but it's real to you on the internet. But in real life, it's not that real to you. And if it is, speak on it and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's take a little walk.
It's an easy thing, man. It's an easy thing. You really feel some type of way, come say it to me. And we can have an adult conversation, and it can go in whatever direction it needs to go. But if you're not going to say it in real life, then don't be a bitch and just go about your business.
That's it, dude.
It's not that complicated. It's not.
It's good to have those conversations in person, too, because that fixes a lot of shit. If you can't, FaceTime.
Communication, my dude. Communication. FaceTime, if they can, whatever. But I mean, in history, kings would sit across the table from an enemy king, and they would have a dinner and a meal with each other as respectable enemies.
Yeah. And
then go about going back to their troops, their armies, to then kill each other. But it wasn't just 100%. The internet is just an on button. At all times, you're just firing off at the mouth, right? Nah, man, there were times where enemies would sit with each other, have a conversation. It would be neutral ground. You would talk about what's going to happen or try to fix it. And then if not, then you went back to your sections and went at it in an organized adult fashion. Now people just think that it's on. If you really wanted it on at all times, then you have to be ready. If you can type some shit at 3 a.m, then you should be ready for someone to kick in your door.
3:01.
But it's not that serious.
I never got that. I never understood
it's
that.
Serious enough.
When people just say like, it's just the internet. It's the internet. It's the internet to me means like maybe this link isn't real. Maybe this isn't a true story. That's what it's just the internet means to me.
It's funny how people will say that real quick.
But when I've met somebody and they say something about me online, that's the same. That's the same exact as them saying to me in person.
In person.
Because we've already communicated. So whether you were to text me.
Yeah.
Whether you were to email me, or say it online,
or record your face,
or FaceTime,
I hate your guts.
It's all
your face.
It's all the same.
Same.
And maybe to the guy that you're talking shit to online, it isn't the same to him. But that's not your decision.
Correct.
That's not your decision to make.
Correct.
It's that
like if the
person
person comes up on you at an event and was like, "What the fuck is up?" Like, "Oh, you're immature. It's just the internet." What the fuck?
This is real life.
The dude's over here trying to snuff you, and you're over here like, you're a child. What the fuck? That's the wrong time to try to.
This is real
talk
life,
some sense.
baby.
It's real life in that moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But golden rule: treat people how you want to be treated. Do your best, and fuck it. None of us know why we're here anyway, so we'll see.
do.
Why is that? For Downtime with Downstar?
Everyone's purpose is for them, man. You have to discover that in here, man.
Do you think you'll know the day that you fulfilled that purpose? Is it like a day where you fulfill
Knowing
it?
the purpose and fulfilling it are separate.
Yeah. Or is it a day that you know your purpose?
I'll tell you what it isn't.
Uh-huh.
Nobody's purpose is to troll other people on the internet. Nobody was born so they could type completely disrespectful shit about people's wives and children and
Crazy.
businesses. If that's what you think, man, I hope to God, because somebody who has less control over their temper than me, you're gonna say some shit to, and they're gonna give you 3 to the chin, and you're gonna wake up and have to have your lips stitched back together and put some teeth in.
I want to see this temper of yours, bro.
No, you don't.
Not towards me.
Even regardless, my guy. Regardless, it's not. It was there. It's a very real part of me. But I mean, I'm not really looking forward to having that side come back to the.
So you've said
surface.
something. Do you remember what you told me in the past about a temper, and you related it to something else? Having a temper is the same as.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna end it on that one, guys. I want you to throw that out there because this is a really good gem, and this is something that I took that helped me out a lot.
Oh. Okay. So I think that you're referring to when I said that a temper is like your demon, right? And a demon that a lot of people are fighting is suicide. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. For me, what I've realized is most people think about how people are fighting depression is actually the word. And then subsequently you have things like suicide that can come from extreme types of depression. For me, people who have to fight depression have that devil. But for me, fighting a temper is like fighting that kind of devil, because if you lose your temper, someone will die. At least my temper. I don't know if that was saying too much, and then if someone has extreme depression, bro, someone can die. It could just be themselves, or you hear about people who off their family, right?
Yeah.
Or a family member or their whole family, and then they off themselves. These are obviously extreme examples, but real ones nonetheless. So for me, a temper is a demon that some people have to fight, just like depression is. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you're always sad, if you're always depressed, if you feel like that's something you're fighting, fight harder. Find good people to help you. You're not alone. And if you're out there, if you have violent thoughts on the far other end of the spectrum, if you have violent thoughts, if you feel like fucking somebody up, if you listen to a lot of rap music, you're going to try to want to shoot people, if you grew up in a certain type of lifestyle, however that extreme manifestation of sadness or anger is, man, you need to fight that. That's where willpower and help and good people come from, because either extreme will create for a very, very bad result.
That's good, man. And that's helped me out a lot because I do have, certain triggers that really do anger me.
Yeah.
And good thing that I have Ash around to,
She
that I
keeps
can.
you level?
Yeah, then I can talk to about a certain issue. I've talked to you about issues and stuff, and you just give me a different way to look at it. And it's like something that's inside of you when this trigger happens. Even just somebody cutting you off.
Sure.
And
Couple circumstances, you have a bad enough day, there's so much going on, some dude cuts you off and then flips you off, and you're about
Quick.
to lose your goddamn top
for nothing. Take all the shit out on this random dude who's just being a dickhead.
Yeah, exactly.
Because maybe he's just having a day and he's like, fuck you.
Yeah, and he might actually be far down the spectrum more than if you get out. He's getting out and he's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is a lot of times with men, it's pride. You're so arrogant that you think that if you don't behave, I'm gonna fuck you up, until you find somebody who gives less of a shit than you do.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get yourself in a situation where you are not prepared. There's always a bigger, badder wolf, man. There's always someone who's angrier, who has more pain than you, who has more going on. And if you let those two collide, I've seen it. I've been there. I've been the one, dude. Everyone who tells you stories where they're always the one winning a fight, they're lying to you.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone loses. Man, I have, like I told you, man, I have scars on my body. I have stories. You do not win them all. You might not even win most of them.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, Yo, like you guys, whether you're sad and you're fighting depression, or whether you're angry and you're fighting this like perpetual temper, fight it, continue to fight it, find outlets. You know what I'm saying? Go to the gym, run around the block, rock climb. You know what I'm saying?
Bust a nut.
Something, man. If you gotta rub one out, just whatever you gotta do, man. But don't let that emotion end up doing something to you or to others that you will regret.
Yeah.
You're not a cold-blooded killer. You're not a person who has no spark of life or happiness in them. It's just then you're fighting it. It seems to be winning, but you just have to claw and like dig your claws into the ground and don't let it get the best of you. And exercise willpower, help. Don't be afraid to call for help. Just don't, man. That's pride. Once again, put it aside and you know what I'm saying, and just keep fighting, because you're not alone, man. There's all kind of people fighting, and just because you don't see them doesn't mean they don't have their own demons to fight too.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually spoke on that, because people would not know that about you, that you're a very short-tempered person because of how you represent yourself, how you speak, and when you're on live and your posts, you don't come off as that type of person. And for them to know that you still deal with those kind of issues, maybe it can give them help. Like,
yeah, man. No, you're right. But you guys, that's a perfect example. The reason why you might not ever have known or even sensed it is from years, dude. I don't know, 15 plus years of like active attempts at controlling it, not passive. Think about that. Like, one of the things I talk about in my podcast is moving and saying and acting with intent. So I'm talking about I'm actually consciously fighting it, and you do that long enough and you'll start to win. So that's why that one time, I think it was episode 1 or 2, when I said that, and you were like, really? And I thought, to me, that's a good thing, because he had been around me for how many years in the beginning as an observer at like events and stuff, to now when we know each other on a personal level. And for somebody to have observed me long enough and be like, I had no idea, that's an example of what happens when you consciously and actively fight. You can win, because it takes a lot. Like, you go back a certain amount of years, somebody says something, we're fighting.
Yeah.
Right? Physically fighting. And now it's like, nah, man, you're gonna have to try way, way harder. And I might just kind of look at you and chuckle and walk away for something that I would have been willing to do something very bad for,
Good, man. Well, I'm excited to see where this year goes.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stuff coming up, and every year just seems to keep getting better and better.
And you wouldn't even necessarily know. You're like, dude, that was a great year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy with the way this year went. And then, I think that's the positivity, man. It just keeps opening doors.
Definitely, man. Last year we went to so many trips together, had so many good times and conversations, and I just look forward to more of that.
Yeah.
So before we get off right now, if anybody's not following you, where could they follow you at? Where could they find all your info?
Oh, I see. You know what, guys? Instagram would be a great way to see what's going on, to communicate. So it's just at The Big Mike, TheBigMike, The Big Mike. Home base for the Think Bigger project. If you guys want to see what it's about, it's a brand, it's a movement, it's a company that is based on positivity and helping you grow as a person. It's something to be a part of that actually benefits you. So it would make sense to support something that's built from the culture for the culture. The website is home base, thinkbiggerproject.com. The YouTube link's on there, the podcast link's on there. You can support there. Apparel, slaps. 100% of the proceeds just go right back into the project. It's not lining my pocket. It's just there to help the project grow and reach more people. And that's all it is. So Instagram, The Big Mike, and thinkbiggerproject.com. And let's communicate.
Dope. So guys, this is actually going to be going up today. I'm going to edit this up in a little bit and throw it up today.
No,
so
man.
We live, baby. But I want you guys to show Big Mike some love. If you guys get to this point in the podcast, make sure you go to his Instagram at the Big Mike. Shoot him a DM. Mike always answers those, and he appreciates the love that you guys give. If there's anybody in the community that really does, it's Mike, because I see him interacting with these people and answering their questions and such. And it's dope. It's dope to have leaders like this in the community, and I hope it spawns even more people to use their power for good.
Yeah.
So I thank you for coming, man. I know it's a drive out here, but I had a great time, dude. And this is Downtime with Downstar. Peace.